There are no times. Time doesn't
Exactly.
exist.
Exact.
Time doesn't exist. Dude, I love your shirt.
Thanks, buddy.
The best option with a Buddha on top. Ooh, is the Buddha the best option, or are you the best option?
I don't know. I just thought that I should put on my whole Tuluminati gear with you today, so I went full on.
Full on Illuminati.
Yeah, I could have been more Tuluminati, but I stay classy because now I'm from Playa, so I need to blend in. You know, I don't wanna attract too much attention in Playa.
Yeah, yeah. Is that so? Is this Illuminati? So this is like the glasses are Illuminati.
No, the glasses are classic glasses,
Classy.
H&M glasses, same
Okay.
glasses.
So what's
for,
Illuminati? Is the Buddha Illuminati?
For me, a Tuluminati, how that question is so dangerous. For me, a Tuluminati will be hat, black cape, and black pants with rolling end of it. I don't know how you say this in English. The end of your pants. Sleeve? Is it still a sleeve?
Sleeve? I don't know actually.
No, sleeve is for arms.
Sleeve
for
is
the
for
arms,
arms.
right?
What's for pants?
I don't know. Well, this part of the pants roll that will be Tuluminati,
Right.
and no shoes if you can.
No shoes.
So yeah, I just went alphabet. I just wore the pants today.
Okay.
Maybe the little Buddha will fit, but what do I know? I'm for Playa now.
Your
so-
playa. What's the difference now? Like, so you've been in Tulum for a while, and you migrated to Playa for a bit. How is
I wanted to switch vibes, and I didn't want to Playa before, so I wanted to also check new stuff. But yeah, no, Playa is really different. Like I'm still preaching Tulum all the way though.
I definitely think that whenever I go to Playa for shopping, I'm like, it's a city. I forget that I'm in Tulum and I'm in
Yeah.
like a jungle, and
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
is small and everything is closed, and then
Yeah.
you get to Playa and it's just like
back to civilization.
back to some semblance of civilization.
But I mean, there's full streets, full buildings, and yeah, taxi don't try to rub you off. So I will say civilization. It's worth it. It's
Yeah.
worth it.
What's the prices for taxis in Playa?
I would say half the price for a taxi in Tulum.
I'd probably say like
So I would say a normal actual price.
a third of the price, probably.
Yeah, you can have like a 6-7 minutes ride for like 50 pesos.
Dude, here it's like 200-300.
Yeah,
Yeah.
start at 200 actually for me. I never had any ride in Tulum taxi ride. I had like 100 pesos. Never happened.
Yeah, my friend took a taxi from Adelzama to Salinas for 400 pesos. 400.
First day?
No,
No?
but she didn't negotiate before, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
You know.
Does she speak
Taxis.
Spanish?
No.
No?
That's also another issue.
Yeah, that's also one of my big problem here.
Yeah.
I'm poquito, but that's pretty much it.
You don't speak Spanish.
No, I wish to.
But you speak French. Can you understand a little
Yeah,
bit of
everybody say that, but like it's still so different. Like when you read it, it's kind of like you can see the Latin roots and everything.
Reading it.
But like when Spanish speaks Spanish, I don't understand nothing.
Yeah. I mean, Portuguese is so similar to Spanish, so I can have a conversation in Spanish and Portuguese.
Nice.
But it's like, I mean, it's rough, but it's there.
Tu peux-tu en avoir une en français?
It's better than French.
Ok. Ça veut dire non pour tous les gens français qui nous écoutent.
Wait, are you really speaking French, or are you speaking Canadian French? Because here we go.
Here we
We're
go
throwing
again.
jabs now.
Depend on who you ask. If you ask a French, he will say no. But by the way, to all French people that hear us, even in your country, guys, you speak like you have like 10 different accents, just from the south to the south to the north. So at least in Quebec, we just speak one kind of weird French to our defenses. But like, nah, I think it's pretty much legit. Like if a Quebecer is want like force himself or herself to talk like journalist French, official French, I think a French and a Quebecers can understand each other very well.
Okay, but I just feel that for some reason French people have this taste of Canadian French. Like,
I'd say French people have this taste of everybody will speak French except themselves. If you ask all the Swiss out there, if you ask all the Belgian people out there. So, yeah, I think that's a French problem.
really, it's a French problem.
I bet you a little bit the French, but I'm also French. I have 2 citizenships, so I keep myself the right to like ditch on both Canadian and French sides. So
Okay.
I'm safe.
So what would be the difference between Belgium and Swiss, like French?
Oh, to be honest, from my ears, I don't really see one. Like
Okay.
it's true that the French Canadian is way more different than, let's say, the French Swiss. the Swiss French versus the French. You know what I mean? Like the Quebec accent is way more like important, and
Okay.
like way more deep than any Swiss accent or something like that.
Do you get along more with Canadian French or French, like French people? Like,
Um, I love both. To be honest, at the end of the day, it's more about like, oh, it's gonna be cheesy, but it's more about like the person and whatever. So it doesn't really matter. But overall, I would say, yeah, I will say French Canadian, like my guys, my people.
yeah, I think that, I mean, I've traveled to so many places and I meet people from all over the world. And it's great to have all these different cultures. But sometimes, I like me being American, I feel like I vibe. When someone's American, you know, I kind of have an understanding with them. Even though I don't like Americans while traveling, I hate that. I hate when I'm somewhere and I see
It's a
another
bad tag.
American. Yeah, it's like, it's like, oh, I want to kind of not be the only American, but I feel like Americans that travel don't like respect where they're at. They kind of just like flaunt and
Yeah.
spend way more money than they have to, and they increase the prices everywhere.
Yeah,
and-
aka Tulum.
Tulum, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't consider myself that much of a big traveler, so I don't know like
Mm.
my point of view about this. But for traveling, all I know is that I love the Canadian tag. Like,
The Canadian side.
yeah, like where you from, Canada? Oh, I love Canada. It's a classic thing. It's like it's a safe nationality to travel.
Right.
Yeah,
But I think they're comparing the West Coast Canada, not the East Coast. 'Cause
yeah, exactly. But when I say Montreal, I'm surprised. I didn't know that much people knew about French Canadian. Like when I say I'm from Montreal, people like 95% of the time they're just like, "Oh, so you speak French?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know that." I didn't know that much that people were aware of French Canadian. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was one of my little surprise when I started traveling.
I would say that, I mean, since there are so many people from like New York here, and
Yeah, true.
they kind of already know that.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people from New York, Montreal is like, yeah, it's a thing, definitely.
Yeah. I would say that in Canada, like the West Coast, a lot of people don't really know about the West Coast either. But
What do you mean?
for example, like someone will say, "Oh, I'm from British Columbia," and
Yeah.
people are like, "Well, where's British Columbia?" They don't know where that is.
Yeah.
You know, just we know where we're at. We don't really, especially Americans, they don't really know anything outside of.
Yeah. You know the
America.
big city. Oh yeah, definitely. No, that's a real thing. Definitely.
Yeah.
Except at the big city. Yeah, it's there. You got way more chance to like. It's kind of say that. I don't know. It's kind of slippery, but yeah, American doesn't know that much about the world outside of the U.S.
Mm.
compared to other people from other part of the world.
Why do you think that is? Do Canadians do?
Can he? I would like to think so, but like I said, I didn't travel enough to have a fair point of view about that. But I don't know. I think maybe that's kind of a dynamic that the American a little bit like the French, I would say. Like they kind of think they're the center of the world at some point, and that like it's all about what's happening in Paris, and you know what's about in Paris, but Parisian don't know what's happening outside of Paris.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's the same dynamic with the States. Like we're always looking in the state what's happening because of culture is super huge, but like the state doesn't look that much out of the States.
Gotcha.
That will be my guess, but like I said, who am I to judge?
I think that Canadians and Americans are kind of similar, in a way that the culture is the same. When I meet someone from Canada and they're speaking English, I kind of unless they're French, you can. But if they're just regular Canadians, it's kind of hard to distinguish between like, are you American? Are you Canadian? A little bit.
Yeah, at certain points, kind of the same society.
Yeah.
Plus healthcare.
Yeah. Also, if you want, you can so you can face more this way, maybe because you're like at an angle. I don't know if you want to.
Oh no, I'm cool. I
You're
prefer
good?
looking at you than looking at them.
Oh damn, he doesn't. All right, cool. So healthcare, yeah. So what's the healthcare like in Canada? I mean, everyone says it's free healthcare. It's
just
amazing.
It's free, and the infrastructure is completely like overload. Is it a word?
Overloaded.
Overloaded. Yeah.
Well,
It's not about COVID. It's kind of a thing right now in Canada. Like the second you say you're not really down with the restriction and like you're not sorry. There's a little lizard doing a super wacky move there. Sorry guys, he kept my attention. What? The,
Oh yeah.
oh my god! What? That was crazy. So yeah, about healthcare in Canada, infrastructure is super overloaded. So it's been years like that. That the system is free, but is just not up to date. So you're gonna break your arms. You're gonna wait for like 7 hours in the emergency room with other sick people to get care. So the quality of the service is horrible. It's been years like that.
Really?
Yeah. So my point was like, if you kind of have a speech that say I'm not really like I'm kind of against the restriction in Canada, and I think we're doing too much for something that like touch like 0.02% of the population, but killed 0.02 of the population. They're all gonna say, yeah, but we do this to protect our health system. That's bullshit, because the health system was fucked way before that.
Really?
Yeah, I hate it when I heard this argument. Like, if you ask any nurse in Quebec, it's been years since they want better work
Conditions.
condition. Exactly.
Yeah. Like,
So like it's been years that the health system is broke, but like people like right now the media is just like, yeah, we know like that the COVID is not that much about the death and the disease, is about not putting too much pressure on the health system because like it's gonna be too hard. It's already health system was already broken years ago, so that's a bullshit argument.
so I mean, how would you compare the? I mean, have you been to Europe? Or
Oh
do you-
yeah.
So what's the health system? I mean, they have free healthcare. Canada has. Is it better there?
Well, I say I've been in Europe and mainly been in France, and I'm pretty
How's
sure,
France?
like from what I heard with like German French and Swiss friends and everything, it's not free.
Oh, it's not free.
No, but the service is super good quality.
Okay. So
So
it's
like I don't want to say bullshit. Like actually, I don't really know, because I think in France it's not free. But it must depend on like your jobs and anything. But like as a citizen, you don't have free healthcare like in Canada, I think.
okay. All right.
I don't want to say bullshit because I don't really know, but some it's way. No, they don't have it. No, it's
Okay.
not free. I'm pretty sure of it. Sorry, I'm just like, yeah, they don't have it. But
Yeah.
its quality is super nice. You go in a hospital, it's clear. You can go straight up to your appointment or whatever. But still, what's the best? Like pay for it and don't wait, or don't pay for it but have like bad infrastructure. I still that Canada still has the best option regarding
Right.
that.
I also think that it's different with Canada and the U.S. because Canada has like 10% of the population the U.S. does.
Yeah, exactly. We're 33 million.
33 million.
Yeah, we look big on the map, but we're like a village.
Yeah, the maps are always so distorted, no?
Yeah,
Yeah, because you see Canada and it's so like massive, but it's
Yeah.
actually much more smaller.
but it's like in Quebec, like we have a super huge territory, but actually Quebec is like all condensed on the south, like on the American line. Over that, it's super huge territory, and like there's nothing there except forests and lakes and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a reality. Like Quebec is a village, pretty much. It's super small. Yeah, you got a couple cities and that's it.
I have to go to Quebec or Canada even. I've never been to Canada.
Yeah, go you yeah.
But I
Go
want to go
there.
to Vancouver because everyone says that Vancouver is like
I've never been there, but it looks like it's really a vibe.
yeah. They say in springtime also when it's spring, summer, it's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, I have a friend Danielle told me that spring is the best season to go there.
Yeah, but it's also really expensive.
Also,
A
yeah.
hostel bed is $35 a night
For real?
for a bed. Yeah.
Damn.
So $35-$40 for a bed. I'm
Yeah.
just thinking,
But if
couch
you want,
surfing.
if you want to go cheap and party, you go to Montreal during the summer.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I also
that's a
don't,
vibe.
don't want to
I'm
be.
preaching. I'm preaching for my spot, but like Montreal is a vibe.
I also don't want to be partying with New Yorkers,
definitely.
18-year-olds.
Yeah, 18-year-old New Yorkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not that bad. Like
Uh.
if you love like the scene, like the music scene in Montreal, we have like great artists, and it's really like it's really a hot spot in Canada for everything related to music and artists. Yeah.
That's interesting. Is it because French are really into music and art? Because it's the same way with New Orleans, right? I mean, there's a big French population there, and it's all art and music. And if it's the same way in,
I don't think there's really a correlation with the French at this point. I think it's really about the own Quebec culture, because we like I already told you, we're kind of the black sheep in Canada, right? Like we're the only ones speak French. We got really our own type of thing. We have our own shitty roads, by the way. Sorry, I had to say it. And yeah, I will say that on a Canadian threshold, Quebecers are way more party oriented than any other Canadian. The Canadian tag is like the white conservatory, like Christianism, relaxed dude who go to bed at 8, have a little job, and super polite and everything. But I would say that the Quebec is kind of like the contrary of that.
Okay.
Yeah, big time. So it's kind of clash. When you look at the Canadian culture, for me, it's more like, yeah, we're definitely the black sheep. So if you wanna go, you're gonna go relax with a beautiful pyjama, and you wanna take a little retreat. You go to Ontario, you go to all the West, and the people will be hating me because I say that. But if you want to party and go hard, you go in Montreal definitely, and it's cheaper. Yeah.
Montreal, gotta check it out.
Yeah, but Toronto, like I said, like Toronto is in Ontario, and like it's such a vibe. It's super nice and super party oriented. But like at the root, on a culture base, Quebec is way more like, yeah, party
Okay.
animal than the rest.
Is Drake from Toronto?
Yep.
He's always like Toronto, Toronto.
Yeah.
So Drake, and is it The Weeknd also? Or-
Drake, The Weeknd, and like Justin Bieber is not from Toronto. He's from Ontario, I
Okay.
think.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah.
Okay, you want to put him on that group?
Yep.
All
Yeah,
right.
we're always shipping you guys our best artists. Always.
All right. So why did you come to Tulum? Like, what was the? Why did you come from?
I would say COVID restriction.
The COVID restriction.
Yeah,
was watching you.
definitely. Yeah, I always wanted to travel,
Okay.
but like, at a certain point, everybody always want to travel. It's like a classic thing to do. But like the COVID, after a couple months of like depression and stuff, I was like, all right, I need to act on it, because watching the news and having kind of a basic like confrontation with what was happening, like I'm not down with the fact that we kill our whole economy for a thing that is, like I said, 90, like you have 99.995 chance of survival. For me, it's just doesn't make any sense.
Mm.
So I was kind of living in a personal like confrontation, personal like I was just kind of angry about the situation, and I could do nothing except just go away and like do my own thing. So all these emotion compounds, and I just took a flight, a one-way trip, and I went here, and no regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets on this move. Definitely not. Yeah. The weather also, vitamin D.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, the weather here is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
what are we? We're in April now, so is Montreal cold, right?
Yeah, it's still cold. We had I talk as the we, but my friend told me that they had like a week of super hot, like 20, 23s,
Mm.
and poop. They have snow today, I think.
Oh,
It's always
snow.
like this in April. Yeah, April is always a month when you get a little bit of hope for like 1 or 2 weeks. Everybody's like, yeah, summer's back, and then poof, you go back in a little bit of winter spring feelings for a couple of weeks. Definitely. Yeah.
You are a what? You're a big time photographer here in Mexico, no?
Aha.
Videographer, photographer.
Yes, that's what I do. That's what I do for a
Dude,
living.
I've seen your Instagram story ads. Dude, I think every time I go out with you, someone is like, "Man, I saw your photography thing. And,
Yeah,
like,
the
I want to
ads-
hire you."
Yeah. The ads is running like never before in Tulum, because I used to work in a marketing agency, so I have a couple of
Ah.
friends that that's what they do. They do ads campaign, and
Right.
that's their job. So when I landed in Tulum, I was like, all right, let's start something here. Let's start a ad campaign, and it worked pretty well. And the thing that's nice in Mexico that I didn't know, but the CPM, the coût par mille,
Mm-hmm.
is super cheap. So the cost of your ad is super cheap compared to US and Canada.
Really? What's super cheap?
The cost of your ads.
No, but like, what's the like? What? How much is it?
Oh,
Cost
to
per-
be honest, I didn't check. Like he's running everything right now
Okay.
for me, but I will say, no, I don't want to bullshit. I don't know
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
about
yeah.
this.
But it's
thing.
way cheaper here.
Yeah, it's
That
all I
makes
know.
sense.
It's way
That's good.
yeah, it's way cheaper
That's
here.
interesting though, because yeah, we're in Mexico is going to be cheaper, but that's such a great thing for Tulum because you're getting the same Mexico price, but you're in Tulum,
Exactly.
but you can charge way more.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of that's a good strategy, because like you said, Tulum you can charge more because there's a lot of money here, right?
Mhm.
Like as the taxi. And yeah, the fact that the cost that your ad costs are representative on Mexico and not of Tulum, give you an edge if you want like do campaigns here. And yeah, it's working pretty well. I got one working in Playa right now because I'm in Playa since a week, But I think no, I think I'm gonna start it back in Tulum because Tulum is the perfect target market for photography services and videography.
Really, why is that?
Target market, man. I think Playa is just like familia and like
Uh,
cheap vacationers.
yeah, yeah.
Just like people just go on vacation just to chill.
Right, they go
Well, in
to.
Tulum, people come here to show they're in Tulum. That's a Tulum thing. Like, yeah, I would say Tulum is like the Vatican of like influencers in Mexico. Definitely, probably in the world right now. Yeah,
Definitely, yeah. Tulum has that prestige, and everyone wants to show off here. So
yeah,
people come.
definitely.
Yeah, I think yeah, if you go to Playa, you're gonna have those nuclear families that go there, and they're going to the
Nuclear families. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, definitely. That's yeah.
yeah, and they're going to like a buffet, like a cheap buffet, and trying to get like cheap food and have everyone eat, and
Yeah,
going to the
exactly.
touristy spots. And I was in Playa, and I saw this little thing on, I think on Fifth Ave, this restaurant there, and everyone had the Mexican sombreros,
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
and everyone was just partying, and it's so.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in Tulum in Playa. I mean, when I landed like a week ago, I was like, nah, that's a killer. Like, there's a spot when you can go like pop some tigers
Oh,
and
I saw the
stuff like
tiger
that.
thing,
Yeah, it's
dude.
super. Like, I don't love these things. I see this to just make me feel like I'm in Orlando, Florida. Like, it make me feel
Yeah,
like I'm in like a
it's so
super
sad.
touristic spot. Yeah.
You see those tigers in there, and they're just like roaming around a bit. They don't have the freedom to just
Yeah,
be
exactly. And after
themselves.
the when they're not cabs anymore, is it what's the word for that? Cubs.
Cubs. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. When they're not cubs anymore, they just like go and whatever they get sell, and they just it's horrible market. Don't
Yeah.
do that, people. Don't go that.
Don't give
Don't
them your money.
yeah.
Don't
Don't do that.
support
Don't
that
do that
industry.
stuff. But yeah, there's a couple of things in Playa that I love, but overall regarding the vibe, I will have a mix actually. I will have the little bit of more infrastructure in Tulum, like
Mm.
streets and like the way like the
Being
urbanism is done.
right.
But I will definitely love the Tulum vibe is the best.
I think that yeah, if Tulum had more a way to get shipping here, maybe, and a little bit more businesses that were maybe tech oriented, right? So
True.
photographers can come here, maybe better Wi-Fi system.
Yeah.
What things would
Yeah.
you want more?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is
The Wi-Fi
definitely one of those things.
service.
Services, and actually just this and a couple of more roads. That would be perfect.
Just more
Like
roads.
actual roads. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude,
Just that.
they just opened the road. Did you know that the Kukuklan Road?
For real? Oh, is it between the beach and Aldeazama? Is
Uh,
it like a?
no, it's the beach road, and you go down to the beach road. Then you have like Adelzama, but there's also another road over here, and it takes you to Amansala.
Oh,
So
okay.
you pass like the
And
the
it's brand
opening.
new.
Yeah, it's brand, but the roads are suck. They suck. There are potholes everywhere.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, it's a new road and it's open and there's potholes there. But yeah, you get to skip, that roundabout, and then you skip that opening, and then right after the opening you get Amansala, and then you go in and make a right and start from like
Nice.
Amansala and Rock Lux.
Yeah, I think that in 10 years from now, Tulum's gonna be way different.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's also great. I think that I was talking to this other guy, and he said that they have a lot of restrictions here with like building, and so it's not gonna be like Cancun or Playa. There's like limit on.
okay, perfect.
So yeah, you can have more better quality buildings
Nice.
and
So they
sustainable.
keep the culture and they want to keep the vibe. That's super important. We have a
Yeah.
thing like that in Montreal. For we have the Mont Royal on Montreal, which is
Mm.
like the little mountain, and there's no building that can be higher than this.
Okay.
So it's kind of like restriction to keep like the, I don't know, like the vibe, I guess, or
Right.
like the cachet of the spot. But yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, definitely. And I'm pretty sure also regarding the design, the architecture, they should have some rules here in Tulum, because in Playa you can walk, have a little beautiful building with like more like a Tulum vibe, like tropical thing, and after that you just have a big white resort jumping off the ground. So it's kind of it's little things, but when they compounds at the end of the day, that's why people is like, yeah, Playa is not what it used to be. Nah, 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 nah,
Right.
nah, nah, things. I heard that a lot, like from people who was like, yeah, well, I love Playa 10 years ago, but now it's just too much. Nah, nah, nah. So I just hope it will not happen with Tulum.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen. Like we said before, we were talking about this. How Playa, there's way more family oriented. There's kids walking around everywhere, and that's one thing. But in Tulum, you also have it's more of a mature vibe.
Yeah.
You have people, not a young crowd, and you have people here who are career minded and
Yeah.
collaboration and networking minded. So there's really no families here. You see a little bit
Yeah, a
once
lot
in a
of
while.
digital nomads, cryptos, financial guys,
Yeah,
creatives.
it's such a hub for like networking
Yeah, definitely.
and meeting like-minded people. So if you want to go to Playa, you have your family and your
Yeah,
touristy things and resorts and
definitely.
all
All you can
exclusives.
eat. Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, here in Tulum, and I think part of it, people complain that Tulum is so expensive, but part of it is the price,
yeah,
right? So you get a certain what is it, funnels, or it
yeah.
filters
Filters.
filters out certain people that can afford and are in that career mindset.
Yeah.
And then you also have the models that come here who get
It's okay. I'm done with models. Like they make me live in a way, so I have no problems with that. No, it's definitely a thing, and you talk about like a kind of filter. That's true because especially right now in COVID situation, everyone I met in Tulum are on the same page than me regarding what I think about what's happening in the world right now, and it's such a good thing that like when you're networking, you all during COVID, everybody's on this because people who are down with the restriction in their own country will not be traveling right now.
Mhm.
Everyone who travels, people are just like, all right, I don't fit with this idea. I don't like this bullshit. Fuck it, I'm traveling. So from that point of view, the people I met are all like same like minded and mean super nice. The
Yeah.
networking here is great.
So many people. And when you network, do you had the marketing campaigns done for Instagram, so you've been getting a lot of work. What's the difference between working in Canada and working here in Tulum, the styles?
I will say here regarding the creative aspect is it's funny because in Montreal I was working more in a video production company.
Okay.
Like that was my real job. But actually, it's weird to say. I'm always like juggling between the two, but I just do both at the end of the day. But in Montreal, I was shooting portrait, lifestyle, and fashion photography for fun
For
because
fun.
that's what I love. I love this. Like that's one of the part of the job I love. And if you want like have like a real career as a photography, only photos, no video, you'll have to do weddings, you'll have to do events. You need to do that, or you can be like a fashion photographer in Montreal, but like there's not a lot of people. Their market is super small actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing this for fun, but the thing I love about Tulum is that it's complete invert situation. It's one of the only place in the world where people it's the only place in the world where people will pay you good money for fashion photography,
Lifestyle,
lifestyles and stuff like this.
portraits.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm super happy with it because the thing I used to do for fun now is the thing that pay because like product photography or these type of thing. I still do it, but like the core business in Tulum is mainly like with people. Like there's good B2B. B2B is more in video, but the B2C is way more like fashion and portrait, and it's super. I say it's easy because I love it, So yeah, I will say the big difference is in Tulum I can do fashion and portrait and lifestyle and really get paid for it.
Nice. And it's great because I think you actually were in the timing was right for you, because when you were in Canada, you were doing it for fun, right? So you were working on it for yourself and you were building up your skills.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then once your skills were built up for some, like you just kind of came to Tulum at the right time in your life,
Yeah.
where, hey, I've built up all these skill and now you can do it.
Yeah, that's the thing in creative like jobs. We all have like to all people do creative jobs that will relate. Like let's say you got your mom and your dad just like I don't get what you go shoot if you're not getting paid. I was just like, yeah, but I need to shoot to get better, to get to a certain quality of work where I will be paid. And it's a never ending cycle. Like you need at a certain point to say, okay, now I'm good enough and I want to get paid. And for creative, it's kind of a dangerous game because you can get like in the loop, and if everybody know you as the guy who's do free shootings, you need to. It's like when you have a business and you change your product and you up your price. You need to renew pretty much all on your clientele I'm pitching up French word when I don't know English words.
No, yeah, you got
Is
it.
it clientele?
Yeah, yeah,
Clientele is the
clients,
same
your
word.
clients, clientele.
Good for me. Good for me. So yeah, every time you switch your price or you just decide to actually charge, you need to renew all your clientele.
Okay.
That's how it works. So the good thing I loved about Tulum is, like I said, like all this new clientele would fit perfectly with the clientele that was not a clientele because I was doing it for free in Montreal. So yeah, it kind of end up well. And if at the end of the day I would have never go just shoot portrait and fashion and lifestyle for fun, I will not develop the skills necessary to make money here, definitely.
So yeah, what would you recommend for someone that's wanting to get into photography here in Tulum? Like, what are some tips before they get here, or if they're already here, but maybe probably before they get here and they see Tulum and they see all this potential for their business and their photography or videography or whatever creative space they're in.
I would say rack up some money first.
Oh, get some stock, get your paper up.
Yeah, get a little paper up because it's gonna be super practical because yeah, you know, when you travel, like, it's too late when you're out of your country and you need to, like, I don't know, find a hotel, do this and do that. You always need money to leverage business at a certain point. You always have that good old luck, but you still have money. So prepare your ad strategies. Try to get a few contracts before you go there.
Oh, okay.
Like you want to land in Tulum, you already have 2 meetings or 3 meetings with people, 10 meetings
That's
if you
such a
can.
great idea.
And also,
Yeah,
buy your gear, buy good gear.
Okay.
Yeah, don't go cheaper on your gear.
So, okay, stack up your paper, get prepared.
Yeah.
Get some work before you get here.
Yeah, definitely.
And get some good gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I say good gear, like, for this example, it's photography, right? So like you can get a camera for like $600 and do super great photo. Like, I don't say like racked up 10,000 cameras and stuff if you don't do videos.
Blackmagic, get a red camera.
Exactly. I have a Blackmagic coming up today.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Nice.
I'll unbox that tonight. But yeah, what I was trying to say is because in Tulum or even in Playa, it's too late to buy lenses and stuff. Like, there's the Amazon. I didn't try the Amazon in Mexico. Well, I'm saying this, but yeah, actually, I tried. That's why I have a Blackmagic coming up today. But I don't know. I
think if you're trying to budget, also, I mean, you can get the equipment.
Yeah.
But if you're budgeting, then there's gonna be the taxes and the import fees are a lot.
You want to come here with all your equipment. I think that was my point. Yeah, just come in with all your equipment. Don't think like, oh, I'm gonna buy this lens once I'm here or whatever, because in Tulum there's nothing. You were not even able to buy like a external hard drive in Tulum. So
yeah, I think that once what you should probably do is do like a pre-photo shoot or something before you get here. Imagine yourself you're in Tulum, wherever you're at.
Yeah.
And think of yourself as if you're already here. What would you need? What would you want to do? What would you want to have? Would you want to have a drone?
Yeah.
Would you want to have a GoPro for underwater cenote shots? Would you want to have what is that? One of those that dome, the dome for the GoPros that you can get
underwater casing?
Yeah, there's like a dome that you put on the GoPro.
Is it with a grip like this?
No, it's like it's just a handheld, and then you have a dome, a glass dome, and then you can get the underwater shot and the above water shot.
Oh, that classic shot. Oh, for real? I didn't
never
know
seen
that. No, I never seen that.
Because what it does, it breaks the water.
Yeah, it's a fisheye, like a big.
Yeah, it's a big fish, but it's not for like a fisheye distortion. It's to break the water.
Yeah.
So that your lens isn't breaking the water, and you can get both shots from the in and outside.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I never saw that.
Yeah, but if you need something like that, bring that, or just take some shots before. Pretend you're in Tulum. Pretend you have all your gear and what you need, and if you need a good MacBook too, because a lot of people will come here, and they'll have their old maybe regular laptop, and they think, oh, like I use it a bit, but it's slow, and you want to maximize your time, right?
Yeah. So. And that's big. The first thing when you want to start like photography or videography, it's all about your equipment. The first thing I said. I'm not saying that learning about your programs and getting actual real skills is not important. It's just that if you want to travel, just make sure you got everything you need, because it won't be the time to buy a new lens when you're in Tulum. and you can always watch YouTube videos when you're in Tulum.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, and prepare a strategy and just rack up some money. Like for me, it was kind of different because I didn't know that I would have stayed like that much in Mexico. For me, at first, it was just like I need a month off of this restriction bullshit, and yeah, a week after I went out of the country, Trudeau switched the rules, and now it was about to cost me like $2,000 to come back to Canada. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna give $2,000 to Canada just to come back and start do nothing again.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna spend those $2,000 here and trying to see what's up.
Yeah, spend the money here. I
Yeah.
think my friend, what he had did was he actually was in Mexico, and right like before he was coming to Tulum, he did one of the Instagram stories ads that you kind of have, and he's like, yeah, I just got here to Tulum, and if you need a photographer, you can take photos like this,
Yeah,
and yeah.
Nice.
The whole thing. I mean, I'm not saying that you should like lie and say you're here or not, but you can do a similar thing where you're like, I'm gonna be in Tulum from these dates, and you can show your work before, and then you can run the ads in wherever you're going.
Exactly. Like that's what I would have done if I would have knew. Like when I landed in Tulum and I started my ads, I used photos that I took in Sayulita 3 years ago. That was not Tulum, like shot in Tulum, but I used them because I was fitting with like a lot of, not now because I have a lot of tropical type picture, but at this point I didn't have that much of travel picture. Like I couldn't have run ads with like people on rooftop during the winter in Montreal doing photo shoot. It would not match the
style.
thing. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just buy the equipment you need, rack up some money, and yeah, take a one-way trip and grind.
Yeah. Also, I mean, what about transportation here? What do you think?
Transportation. What do you
like,
mean?
like if you get here as a photographer, I mean, should you just come here, or should you like, get some taxis when you go into places?
Oh yeah, you should buy a scooter if you know you're gonna stay there. Don't do like I did, like which is waiting because I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I don't want to spend on a scooter. But at the end of the day, it's been 2 months and I still pay for taxis and stuff. But in Playa, I walk, so it's better.
Playa is more walking.
Yeah.
Tulum is it's harder to get around.
Yeah,
because there's the taxis here are really expensive.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's just I've had a lot. I mean, I was the same way actually. I didn't buy a scooter till 2 months in Tulum, and yeah, a lot of it is just you come here not knowing how long you're gonna stay. So then a week passes, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month passes. Then you're like, oh, maybe I might leave in a few weeks, and you don't know, and then it's just 2 months.
Yeah, you get paralyzed,
and then you're like, but I've already been here so long, and then you just gotta do it. As soon as you get here, if you know you're going to be here for at least a month, get a scooter in Cancun, get a scooter in Playa, wherever before you get to Tulum, or even here in Tulum if you want, but you need a scooter.
Yeah, taxi. Like, I love Tulum, but the only thing I hate about Tulum is really taxis.
That's just a transportation.
They got under my skin, bro. They just overcharge so much.
Man, they're gonna come get me after this. Like, I'm gonna have to block this out. I'm gonna have to cut the taxi clips out because they're gonna come get me. They're gonna be like, I saw your podcast. Take it down.
Yeah, man.
They're gonna start running me off the road, like my scooter.
It's crazy. Like on a Friday night, they charge you $50 US to go like on the Tulum beach.
Dude, I've heard people pay $100. $100. And yeah, this one guy, I think.
How much is pesos? $100 US
2,000.
is like 2,000
2,000 pesos. This was like New Year's. This is how much they were actually charging. And they had the credit card machines there too and everything, just in case people didn't have cash. So my friend did was kind of like, he was like, are you kidding me? And he gave him his card, but then he just called his bank and was like, this guy tried to scam me and got his money back. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But they run it. I mean, they kicked Uber out and they kicked a whole bunch of people out, and that's their
that's
their
true.
hustle.
I heard about that. Like Uber, like try to come in Tulum, and
no, they're like, no, you crazy? Imagine Uber in Tulum.
That will break the whole market
Dude,
of taxis.
it would crumble their market, but it would also. How would it change Tulum? You think if Uber was here in Tulum?
How would it change Tulum?
I mean, it would be just so easy to get around, right? But the traffic, though, it would make so much traffic. You think?
Yeah,
I think that would be the downside.
Yeah, there's no way. No, there's the way Tulum is. Let's just say that there's no way that Uber could have a place here. There's
Yeah.
so much money around transportation, even for bikes.
No, but let's pretend hypothetically Uber was here.
Yeah,
What would
okay.
it look like? Getting to the beach, getting around, getting to
It
cenotes.
would just be a better place. It would just be,
Really?
I would think it will be nicer. I mean,
So like if you're like, oh yeah, I want to go to the beach today.
oh
You'd be
yeah,
like, oh, let's get an Uber.
oh
Boom.
yeah,
Uber's
definitely.
here.
Like maybe on a big city, I would kind of kill the vibe of like taking a bike and riding to the beach, like the little
Right.
travel vibe. Because biking itself, like before Tulum, I don't know when was the last time I used to ride my bike, like a normal bike. You know what I mean? Like it's been years. Like when I first took a bike in Tulum for like the first day, I was like a kid. I was like, oh my god, I'm back on a bike. It's kind of a vibe to have a bike. So I guess if Uber were there will be a lot less bike.
Right. So not having Uber here keeps people fit.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, but I also think that I don't think it would be possible because so many people then they would start taking the Ubers and it would just get so backed up.
Yeah, it's already used like.
But that kind of makes it, I guess, in a way, having the high prices for taxis makes people take taxis less. So it kind of brings the traffic down a bit, I would say.
You think?
I would say so. I mean, yeah, there's less.
Because taxis are still like 85% of traffic in Tulum. Well, when you're on the Tulum beach, let's say like the
They're
thing that's
taxis.
always it's
That's what I'm
always
saying.
taxis.
Imagine it was all
Taxis
Ubers.
plus Ubers.
Yeah, because the taxis would
Yeah,
lose their
that
job.
would be a shit show.
So let's say the taxis start doing Uber also, and then you had Ubers on top of that. It'll just be so many cars.
Yeah.
And no one would be able to get anywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that
That would not be a good idea.
I think the reason that Playa taxis are cheaper is because there's no problem getting around.
Yeah,
there's so
there's
many
way more
streets.
roads and
Right, there's way
stuff.
more roads. Here
Yeah.
it's one road. So if every taxi was charging, let's say 50 pesos to get to the beach, then everyone would start taking taxis, right? And then
Yeah.
there'll be so much more taxis.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it would just it'd be so.
No, be a shit. Yeah,
So,
yeah, you're right.
Kind
I
of
think
sympathize with the taxi drivers a bit.
Yeah,
kinda-
but guys, stop charging 500 pesos for a 5-minute ride, please.
Yeah, no, I just think get a scooter, and I think there's more people opening scooter rentals here in Tulum.
Yeah.
Because they're seeing that people want more scooters there. It's,
Yeah, there's already a shit ton of scooter also.
yeah. Now there's gonna be a lot more scooter accidents.
Where all their bumps. That's so crazy what they do with their I don't know what you call these in English.
Topes.
Topes?
The bump with the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put it every 10 meters on the road.
Yeah.
That's crazy stuff. I've
Yeah.
seen cars like, oof. When
yeah.
you don't know there's one.
Yeah.
Those are rough. It's not little like, hey, you should slow down. It's more like here's a walls for you. If you didn't see it, you just broke your car.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff. I've seen cars fly on these things. It's crazy.
Really.
Yeah. I see like since I'm here, I see like 3 cars. Usually at night, I just don't see it. I'm just walking or it's in front of the straw actually. Just like whoosh, explode the whole thing. Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn. Yeah.
We'll have that in Canada, bro. with the ice and stuff, that would not be a good idea.
And what's the party life like in Canada
Party life
compared to Tulum?
compared to Tulum. Well, when there is inside, people. I saw him. That's why I wanted to say that. I saw like a TikTok or something about US versus Canada on these things, and like in Canada, people remove their shoes inside their house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like this in the US, but it was just like partying in the US. You go in and you're in. Partying in Canada, you open the door. There's like 60 shoes in front of the door.
Really?
Because everybody, we remove our shoes.
You remove your shoes.
Yeah.
To go to a party.
Inside the house, yeah.
Like let's
Not
say
in a bar or in a club.
no. But
yeah.
even a house. So you're in university and there's a college party and everyone goes and removes their shoes.
Yeah, if it's an apartment or something like that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
That's so respectful.
Yeah, but I guess it's because of like the slush, like the we call it the slush, like the ice and the snow outside, and it's just like an habit that we just kept or something like that. But yeah,
That's interesting.
even in Europe, like when I was seeing when I went in France seeing my family, like they don't remove the shoes inside. They just walk, and I was like, why? You get shit everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I would say that first thing. Yeah, people remove shoes in Canada's party. I didn't went to enough American party to know what's the difference, but I think it's pretty similar. Beer pong, Every beer pong partners I have in Tulum was either American, Canadian.
You
Because
play beer
European
pong?
is like, whoa,
Ah.
yeah.
So what about Tulum party life? What's the vibe here?
It depends. To be honest, it's kind of do I really want to go there? But yeah, on Tulum Beach, the party vibe is it's kind of a little bit like the taxis. Actually, it's overpriced. Like in a way that you go there. I went to the Taboo a couple times, and like for me, I don't get it. Like people paying like a K for a table, and they just smoking shisha and they eat like overpriced hummus, and they're just not dancing or stuff like that. For me, I was mind blown. Like for me personally, if I spend $100 in a night and I didn't even dance and like really party or play beer pong or like be with people and have new conversation and stuff like that, it's kind of a waste of money.
Yeah.
I can't figure people being like paying for like 800 a table just to sit there and like chill.
Yeah.
It's crazy. For me, it's kind of, I was kind of maybe it's because of COVID and everything, but when I first went in Tulum, see, like I said, there's two parts. This part on Tulum Beach, and they also all the jungle parties where there's actual real big party and stuff.
What's a jungle party?
A jungle party is a party in a jungle. No, I'm joking. It's a kind of for me it was kind of a sketchy thing, which was a party. Underground parties when you can put out your cell phone and a shuttle bring you all the way up in the jungle, and you know you're against the law, and you just end up there and like it's kind of a festival. It's house music, ethnic house music festival.
So how does it work? You buy a ticket, and then what? And then you get in a van.
Yeah, you buy a ticket. You usually show up at a hostel.
Okay.
And there's shuttles that bring you up to the. I remember we're in a hostel. I won't say the name, but like we had to like be silenced because all the hostel was packed and the rooftop of the hostel was packed, waiting for the shuttle, and like they don't want people to be waiting in front. So it was super coordinated. And sadly, the two jungle party I went. The first one, my buddy just went super sick, so we had to go home. And the second one we went was raided by the police. Yeah, so like dancing, everything was super nice. Music is shut. Turn around, you see like 4 police pickups arriving, fully loaded, and people start panicking for real. Really? Because police raid in Mexico that's why we use the word raid, because it's really a raid. I know people got like. They got all their money, their whole like wallet takens, their phone takens for no reason. Like if you took my wallet right now, I'll be in crap. Like that will not be nice. It's not nice to
take someone's their bank card,
especially from the police. Yeah, like it's kind of. So I didn't have that much of a great experience regarding jungle parties, but yeah, I know they're definitely wedding parties in Tulum.
And how much are they?
Oh, it's around 100 to 200 US.
200 US for a party.
Yeah, if you're a dude. If you're a girl, you can make your way up there.
Get someone to pay for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that also too. Yeah, they take your phone, right? They take your phone so you can't record.
Yeah, they just rip you off. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. You mean before in the jungle party, so you don't record and stuff like that.
Did they take your phone?
No, not this one. But I heard stories. And I'm pretty sure there's like so much jungle parties, and there's no one that's the same that the others. But for my part, they didn't. They in the hostel they told us like to chill, like not make any sound, waiting for the shuttle. And when the police show up at the jungle, like we just start runnings and we jump in the first shuttle that was open. But I heard people from this same party they got ripped off by the police. You don't want to like if you want a little tips in your jungle party and there's like police showing up, don't wait, like don't chill there, just go. Because if you chill there and you're like in the last still there, they're just gonna like chance. I know a friend, it was the police just told him like, hey, we want a search on you, and he was like, okay. And they just put straight up cocaine in his pants and put out the cocaine. It was like, what is that? And just, I don't do cocaine, like that's not mine. And then you have to bribe them. So maybe you'll get in trouble for this podcast.
Maybe you're gonna get me in trouble with the taxis. Sorry, the police, man.
Taxis, police gonna go come on Kai. And but yeah, there's crazy stories. So like I have one of my friend in Playa 1 week ago, last weekend actually. He went into prison for 15 hours because after the clubs, the police apprehended him and they were, we want to search you. And my friend know about that trick, and he was like, no, you won't search me. I don't want you to search me because I know what you will do. They just search you. Shit. Oh, what is that? And classic thing. So they put him in jail for 15 hours, and he was with other people like kind of this in the same situation, and they give them one glass of water in 15 hours, and one glass for everyone. So they were passing the glass, and that was water from the sink, like not potable water.
Damn.
Yeah,
That sucks.
that's crazy stuff, and like
That
that could
sucks.
happen like this. So yeah,
Keep a lookout.
keep always an eye on
Be
it.
safe out there, guys.
Be safe.
Anyway, so you have any more tips for photography for people?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. What we say, yeah, take care of getting some money before you come in. Once you're here, talk to people. Go in hostels also. Go in, yeah, that would be a good one. Chill in hostels.
Chill in hostels.
Go. Don't go get a hotel with a closed room, or at least if you do that, go in a hotel when there's a public space.
Okay.
But hostels will be the best because this is where you're gonna meet people.
Question though, I mean, yeah, you can meet people in hostels, but do they have money to pay for?
It depends because, like I said, like we're in the Mayan Monkey right now. And just in this co-working, I met a lot of people that maybe not directly, but indirectly brought me business.
Okay.
That's also a thing in networking. Is like it's not necessarily the first person you met that's gonna bring you business, but the person you met, maybe you'll go out with him or her, and you're gonna bring some friends, and then it's
I like
rarely
that. Yeah.
directly. It's usually two
It's
or three.
indirectly.
Yeah, it's kind of gatekeepers.
Yeah, because if you come to Tulum and you get an Airbnb, and
Yeah.
maybe even get a cheap Airbnb or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're stuck in your Airbnb, and then you want to do photography, and then maybe someone might say, "Hey, I like your work. Let's go shoot," and then they ask
Exactly.
you for recommendations on where to go, and you've been stuck in your Airbnb
yeah,
for
you
weeks.
close yourself to the world.
You're close, so you don't know where to go, and
Yeah.
then you're not, you get to a place and maybe you might see a spot on, maybe you saved an Instagram post and you said, oh, I like this location, I want to shoot here. Then you have to figure out how to get there, and then you get there, you've never been there before.
Exactly.
So you feel, not only are you trying to shoot, you want to be comfortable when you're shooting, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I did that. I took my first month in Tulum. I took an Airbnb at the end of the world. I was living with the old lady in her house.
What?
Yeah,
Whoa, how, what? An old lady
an
in her
old
house.
lady, like the owner of the house,
That
was
was an
renting
Airbnb.
a room. Yeah, was
okay.
renting a room inside of her Airbnb. And boy, I didn't catch that when I took the reservation. I thought I would be alone. Was not. And like it's cool. Like she was waking super early, and like she was arriving super late, and she was going directly in her room.
Okay.
But still,
But yeah, no, you don't want that
yeah,
here.
yeah.
You want to be social here in Tulum. You want to,
yeah.
get
If
to
I would
know
have knew, I
places.
would have go straight in a hostel.
yeah. Also too, I mean, if you're gonna do photography, if you're gonna do more and charge more money for work, you want to network with people who are spending more money. So
Yeah.
you know, maybe find them more social, a little bit more expensive hostel. Maybe you might end up paying, $5 more a night, right?
Yeah.
Or $7 more a night, but you have better Wi-Fi, you have more services and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
The best thing to do, if you can go to a cheap hostel, but when you want to work, you want to go in like good hotel by Tulum Beach.
Yeah.
Co-working. When I say co-working like this is because they're not necessarily co-working. They usually like space with couches and good Wi-Fi.
Mhm.
And people that work in these spots
Oh.
usually are good, like people with good money. And it's also a thing like the perceived value of what you're gonna offer is super important, especially as a creative, because what you sell is not like a mason, like the people we hear right now. Like construction, when you can say, all right, my materials cost this, and my salary at the hour is this, so it's gonna cost this, and like the price is gonna be this and that. It doesn't work like that when you work in the webs design or anything creative, because it's not tangible.
Right.
So you want to be aware of like what you want to charge, because especially with people who have a lot of money, the perceived value is super important. So if you undercharge, let's say you charge like $60 for shooting, and versus you charge $400 for shooting, as someone who have money, the perceived value is gonna be like, I want to shoot with the guy at $400 because I'm better than paying $60 again shooting. I want a professional. Like it's all in the head. So the perceived value is super important. So I would say as a creative in Tulum, don't hesitate to charge a lot, and you'll get a lot of no. And people will say, well, it's overpriced, and whatever, man, it's all good. Like you
Right.
know your price, and it's all okay. Because if you lowball, what's gonna happen? Like I said earlier, like when you will want to put your price up, you have to renew your whole clientele. So you just want to be sure of what you're worth and stick with this price. Sometimes you can do a little discount. So what I do, let's say I ask for a certain price, and then I see a lot of people like they were like, oh, okay, it's out of my budget. Nah. I put them in a certain, like, I save them. And I don't know if I feel like it in a month, or I know I'm gonna leave Tulum for Playa for a couple of weeks. I just send them, hey, by the way, there's a 25 discount for a week if you want to do that, and I can get sometimes some client are like, oh, okay, I'm done with this, and it's all perceived value. So like if you charge $60 for shooting, you will not offer 25% of $60 in 2 weeks. Like it's ridiculous, and you're gonna be frustrated,
Right.
of like you, because that's also a reality. Let's say we take back the example of the construction guy, and you want a wall this dimension. That's it. He's gonna build you a wall, and that's it. It's his art, but it's still just a wall. But let's say a picture. I can work on a picture for 5 hours, or I can work on a picture for 2 hours. But for me, once it's out there, and the guy is showing a picture I work only 20 minutes on, and the picture is like, nah, buff, it's still gonna be my name associated with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you want to find a hot spot when you know you're gonna work like a certain amount of time on the picture that's gonna reach the threshold of the quality you preach you can sell, versus lowballing to get a little more volume of client, and you just did your job. And the thing that's gonna happen, well, that's what happened for me, is even when, like, back in the days when I was starting and I was kind of lowballing my services, I was still working hours on the pictures because I wanted it to look good.
Right.
But I was not making the money I should for working all these hours.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
what would you recommend for people to do? Are there any tips you can give on how to structure their pricing or something like that?
yeah, you should always offer a couple of options. Because when, like, people have option, like, it's kind of the paradox of choice. Like, you don't have too much option because people's gonna be like kind of confused. So I would say offer to 2 or 3 option maximum. And yeah, just stick with your price, and don't, it's really the feeling of losing client that can make you, when people are just like, no, it's you out of my budget, you can be tempted to be like, oh, okay, right, I'll do it for this price. Okay, I'll do it for this price, because you need money. That will be another reason why I would say, like, racked up before you come in, because if you got a couple, like, I don't know, like 2 or 3K on the bank, you won't mind saying, all right, cool, like,
you have more negotiating power. You
exactly,
have more,
you got
hey,
way more
I'm
leverage.
good. I don't need to lower my prices. I'm okay.
Exactly.
And what about for, let's say, a business that's hiring somebody, looking for work? Because I know, for example, like a hotel may not want to hire a photographer because they might get, influencers that are constantly messaging them.
Especially in Tulum.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly. So what is the difference between an influencer coming to a hotel and hiring a professional photographer?
I mean, it's funny because both happen. Sometimes it's the hotel that are the creative director or the photographer, and this person deals with influencers. But the inverse can happen. Like, the hotel deal with influencers, and the influencers like, hey, I would like to do a collab with you. Can you come shoot me? And you go to do the shoot, and like the influencer have like all the product that she's or he's getting paid to do the shoot. So you want to navigate through that. Sometimes it could be super nice, and it depends what's your goal. Like, there's some photographers, like, actually, it's weird to say, but like, they don't even want to do money. I met a lot of photographers that already add money for whatever reason, and they just love doing this, so they just do everything for free. It's all cool, but it kind of not super good for the market, for people.
The photographers. Yeah, you're taking all the work and giving people.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a reality in photography. And like, I'm not against it. Like, with, like, you see the iPhone 12s, iPhone, like, let's say the iPhone 16. What is it gonna be,
Yeah, it's
Like
gonna be a professional DSLR camera shooting 10K.
exactly, like they're always going to be a place for like real professional, but what I'm saying is the more we go like in time, the more it's going to be harder to shine as a photographer because people are more creating their own content. And it's all good. It also opened a lot of door if you want to teach how to use these tools and the post-production aspect of it. But yeah, to come back to your question regarding the hotel, both can happen. Sometimes it's influencer that deal with us, or sometimes it's us that deal with influencers.
Yeah, I think as much also to your point about like the iPhone 16, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have this amazing high quality camera, but also knowing how to use it,
Yeah.
having the
The
eye,
vision,
the
yeah,
eye,
definitely.
right? They say the photographer's eye, the videographer's eye. And I've given my phone. I have an iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 Pro, right? Amazing video, amazing photo it takes. And I'll give someone my camera, and I say to them, "Yeah, here, record a video of me," and they get nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't want to record a video. They get super nervous because I guess one, they know I'm also like I do photography and video, so maybe they think their quality is not up to standard. But even just a regular person taking a photo, they might not know how to frame it, or may
Yeah.
not know how to move the camera a
Yeah,
certain
it's just
way.
a tool. Exactly. Like if that's why there's a lot of people who kind of stress with that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't sweat at all because like first you can do nothing about it. It will not stop technology from getting better.
Yeah. Or you
And
mean
so-
people who stress over?
Yeah, photographer was stressed about the fact that like iPhone and like
Okay,
people
better
are
cameras,
have less and
cheaper.
less like
Yeah, everyone
need
has a
for
photo.
that.
Everyone has a camera now that everyone can take a photo. Why would they hire
Yeah.
me to take a photo?
Exactly. And like also a funny thing when people are just like, oh yeah, you're just gonna put some filters on it, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
This is not filters. We do are idiots. It's
So yeah,
not the same.
can you talk about also too the amount of work that goes into your, like, people think it's, they
It's
see
super,
a beautiful 15-second reel on Instagram.
yeah. Oh, that's a nice filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's some nice shots. What, it took you like 5 minutes to make or something?
Yeah. That's true. But it's funny because we're seeing like people because of like people doing the more and more their own stuff. There's the level of education of people regarding what is the editing is about.
That's also true.
Is
Their
where-
realization.
Yeah. There's a big realization like, oh, okay, it's not that easy.
Right. And
Before, yeah.
That's actually a great point, actually. To the opposite of what people are thinking, that, a better iPhone camera might mean more people want to use it, but actually more people using it and they realizing how much they suck at taking a photograph,
Exactly,
and
yeah.
they're like, no, wait, I can't take, my boyfriend is not going to be able to take a photo for me. I need to hire a
Yeah.
good photographer. That's why there's still wedding photographers, even though there's so many cameras.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the skills. And like I said, weddings and stuff, like I never did weddings.
Mhm.
We have one actually in 1 month in Tampa, so it's gonna be my first wedding photography contract. But like that's a whole world. Like that's why like photography for me, I'm kind of diverging right now, but I just remember that when I wanted to do like creative stuff as a real job, I was like, okay, photography, is it scalable? And I was like, nah, it is
Okay.
not. Because
What do you mean?
scalable mean like, can you build like a big business around photography? Like I'm sure there's a ton of big business out there for
Scalable,
photography,
okay.
but the thing is that when people pay for you, they pay for you. They pay for your art, your skills. So you cannot you can
got
hire
you.
assistant, you can hire other photographers and teach them how you do your thing, but usually that don't happen. So I know photographers they make good money and stuff, and it's all good that, but they all do weddings and events, and they cannot duplicate themselves. So they could just do more hours or charge more. They cannot scale with other people.
That makes sense.
And videos, that's
Right.
not the same, because video is way more of a teamwork. You have a DOP, you have a real, you have the cameraman, you have a whole team of creators. So you can scale with a video company. You can build up teams and you can move people around, and it's way more, and it's just more money at the end of the road. So that's what, I don't know where we were starting from that, but like that's also a thing to take in consideration if you want to be creative and do photography or videos or both of them. You need to think about that if you want to see like the big picture, if you want to have a business and have things running.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
I think that, to the point of these cameras, I heard this one quote the other day that was, what was it? this guy goes to his girlfriend's parents' house, for the first date, not for the first date, for the first meeting with the parents, and he goes to the house and they have this nice meal and they're sitting down and they're eating the food and the mom of his girlfriend goes to him. So I hear you're a photographer, and oh my god, I love your photos. They're amazing. They're super nice. You must have a really expensive camera. And the photographer is like, "Oh wow, thank you. And this food is amazing. You must have a really expensive stove."
Ooh, nice. I would keep that one. That's
Yeah,
super good.
it's like people think that you know.
Yeah, just a couple of clicks and yeah. Like actually, it's funny. There's a guy who wrote me 2 days ago on Instagram. He wanted me to do an edit of all of his like. He have 3 full SD cards of travel content with his girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted the edits so he can give it to his girlfriend as a gift. And I was like, okay. What are the capacity of your 3 SD card? And it was like, I think this was like like he had overall like three no, he had a full terabyte of content.
Full terabyte.
A full terabyte, yeah.
Okay.
3 times, yeah, exactly. So you had a full terabyte of content. For people who don't know, terabyte of content is kind of huge, super huge actually. And like it was like, yeah, I just want you to make a quick edit, nah. But that's the thing, buddy, like it's not the edit that is long. I'll need to go through all your footage and see what's up. So I told him, I was like, all right, we can do this both way. You give me everything and it costs you X because it's going to take a lot of time for me to check all the footage, or you pre-selection the footage for me and you tell me this and that and this and this, And he was like, no, I don't want to do it, do everything. And I told him my price. Him like, oh, that's way out of my budget. But like, I'm used to it now, but it's a reality. People just don't know how much time it is. So I let him pass. I was just like, sorry, bro, I can't help you because otherwise I'm gonna waste my time. Pretty much.
You know what I realized too, that these people that are looking for the bargain are the people that are going to give you the most work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's like the 80-20 rules, pretty much.
What's that?
It's the comment je pourrais bien dire ça? C'est it's 80% of your business, your money of your business gonna be brought by 20% of your clientele.
Okay.
And the other 20% of your money will be brought by the 80% of your clientele. So the 80% of the clientele that bring you the 20, let's say $100 to make it simple. The 20% of your clientele that bring you your $80 are the best clientele. That's the one that's gonna say, okay, buddy, no problem. Like that's the price, it's all good.
Right.
And the 80% of your, I don't, yeah, exactly. The people are gonna bring you 20% of your money.
Mm-hmm.
The 80%.
They're gonna take up.
Yeah, they're gonna take your time also, and this will apply for everything. Could be your time also. So there's 20% of your clientele that's gonna take 80% of your time, while there's 20%, 80% of your clientele is gonna use 20% of your money.
Right.
So it's like it's a switch up. You really need to like to like keep this rule in mind, because otherwise you just waste time on client that not give you, like, it's like customer service. It's like in everything, like people that just grudge you energy and time are not people that are gonna give you a lot of money at the end of the day. And sometimes you just want to close it, you're just like, yeah, all right, I'll close it, I just need to close it, nah, but you're just wasting your time. You just rather pass. And sometimes you have a client that's just gonna say, yeah, sure, no problem, it's gonna pay like good price. And these clients usually they come back, and those are the clients you want. So yeah, don't be afraid to say no, definitely.
Yeah, I just think that and these clients that are taking up your time with, especially with something like video, if you're working on a project and it's super intense,
super picky, yeah,
super picky, and then you create this, let's say you create your edit or something like that, and then you go to them with your edit, and it's like, no, I don't want this, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, the back and forth.
Back and forth. Oh my.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing. Like we, like as a video maker, could make the parallel with like the influencer thing. Like we work more with agencies than small businesses.
Okay.
Usually, like let's say in Tulum, like in Mexico, because like small businesses, they have influencers every day at the door. Like, hey, I have 1 million followers, I can do a couple of stories, can you give me this app?
Right.
All right, cool.
I've seen that.
Yeah, but when you work with marketing agencies, those marketing agencies work with their own clients, which are bigger business or even other small businesses. But the fact that you work with them is you work as a white label. So you're gonna do videos for their clients, but it's not gonna be your name on it. It's gonna be the name of the agency, because the agency is offering the video service. You know what I mean? So the agency say offer the video services, but at the end of the day, just hire people like us to do the job.
Right.
And it's all good. Like I prefer working for agency because they have way more clients actually.
And way more money.
Yeah, and they can deal with the back and forth with the client. But sometimes that could be kind of a nightmare, because when you do videos, you usually offer a couple of round of modification. Like sometimes it could be like, oh, I don't like this scene, or I don't want, like the guy when we shot this video at the store, this employee is not there anymore, I don't want him in the videos, and something like that. So just personal, like it's all good, it's video, it's normal that sometimes people don't like a scene for whatever reason, so we offer a wave of modification. But when you have an agency between you and the client, you're doing the back and forth in the agency, and the agency is doing its own back and forth with the client. So once, let's say you render a version 1 of the video, or final version, you send it to the agency. Now you wait for the feedback. The agency write back to you straight up and say, oh, we don't like this and that. Like, okay, cool, perfect. So you switch this and that, and you send it back. First wave of a revision is done. So you have another wave yet, right? So you send them back, and then after a week, they're like, oh, finally, we show it to the client, and it will like more like you did it first. Like, okay, so the first time the client didn't even see my first version. We're like, no, he didn't see it yet, the client. So we're like, okay, so now we're dealing with what you want and not what the client wanted, because we usually have a list of what exactly the client wanted, or we have a contact with him or her. So sometimes it can be kind of complicated, the back and forth, because there's another intermediary between you and the client. So the wave of modification sometimes can be messy, because there's the person at the agency that have his own or her own ID and stuff, and at the end of the day, the client will rather like what you did. Well, from my experience, it's the back and forth was more because the agency wanted more creative control.
Right.
That's the word I'm trying to find. I think it's creative control at the end of the day. So the agency still have the feeling that they hired you to do the whole job, but they want to add their own modification, I guess, to kind of get some creative control and some things like that.
Is it because they want to stick to maybe their brand image?
Oh, like it could be for, like, I'm not saying this as a bad thing. It could be for like a couple of reasons. Sometimes they know things that we don't know regarding the clients, or like they know their client better than us because that's their client at the end of the day, and they know the business value. But sometimes it's just that they don't get the client in the loop with us. So there's a lot of back and forth, and all this back and forth is so much time. So when you do videos, you include in your, if you charge at the hour or you charge at the contract, you want to include time for managing time, gestion. So yeah.
What managing time?
I guess it is. It will be. Would it be administration fee? I don't know. I'm trying to flip it in English, but you just want to make sure that the hours you'll get to just write emails and going back and forth and wait and stuff, you'll be paid for these hours, because every time you open up your program back, you need to copy back the sequence, you need to go around, and it can be really time consuming.
And what's the difference between an agency and then maybe working for like a small business, or working for like on the creative side, on the like versions?
A creative side, there's no really different in the creative side, because at the end of the day, it's all about what the brands want. The project will be more about the process. With a small business, is like, of course, it's lower budget, and it's more like, usually it's the owner of the business we deal with small businesses. So they actually have a pretty clear idea of what they want. In the on marketing agencies, sometimes they have their own vision, and the client is just like, deal with my marketing, deal with my brand identity and stuff like that, and we deal more with a project manager or stuff like that, or marketing people in the business. So the people you deal with are really different, and there's a way different dynamic between dealing directly with the owner of the business and you're dealing with marketing people in the agency.
Yeah, I just feel that when you're dealing with maybe, I mean, I've never really dealt with any agencies, but I've dealt a lot with maybe just, businesses and people who hire you for your work. And I just think that like for pricing and for the amount of hours that you do, yeah, you should always have that in mind. That like, do you have any tips for that or anything?
For you mean like patching up for the back and forward?
Yeah,
Patch
patch.
patch your price. Yeah, patch your price.
So
Definitely.
should
It's
you
all like we talk perceived value, right? You just
perceive
don't.
value?
Yeah, you don't want to be in the process and tell the client. And by the way, like with all this back and forward, I will have to charge you more. Nah, nah, nah. Like at the end of the day, if you really need to go there because you don't want to lose money, but you want to patch your price before and thinking like, but like this is all experience. Like once you get the flow of it, you and it's also working with people. When we work with agency, usually it's like we always work with the same people inside the agencies.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of develop a relationship in a process and you know how it works. But when you deal with the owners, it's usually super straightforward, and that's it.
Would you recommend, like, let's say you come to Tulum and you want to start charging people? Do you charge like hourly, or do you
Charging hourly is dangerous.
dangerous? What?
Yeah.
Why? I usually see people they charge hourly. Why is that dangerous?
Yeah, but like the way I see it, you should write down what is your price hourly for yourself.
Oh, okay.
You should know personally hourly what is your price, and you can get your equipment fees and that and all your fees, because usually when people start the video business, maybe you rack like for your whole life or whatever, but usually you got a debt. You got equipment debt because the equipment is super expensive. So it's either you buy a little equipment every time and you rent, or you start a business, boom, you buy everything and now you need to pay back. Depend on people, but you want to add that price, that cost inside of your hourly rate. So you need to know it for
I like that.
yourself, but I will not pitch it to the client.
Yeah, I think that a lot of us don't realize that, when we're giving a price and how much we want to charge, we're thinking we're kind of shortchanging ourselves and shortchanging
Yep.
the amount of the equipment, like you said, costs. And not only that, but the amount of hours that you've put into developing the skill. I mean, even though you didn't go to
Yeah.
university, or maybe
Exactly. In creative things, that's a thing. Like, oh, it's just gonna take you 30 minutes to do that. Exactly, but it took me 4 years to do that in 30 minutes, and you need to pay me back for those 4 years, buddy. So this is why it's a dangerous game. Sometimes for big project, it's worth it. Let's say you're doing a 15K project.
Mhm.
Like it's a 15K project. You want it to be clear with the client, and
Right.
at this kind of budget, everything is pretty good. Is patched up pretty much. But let's say you're doing like a super small video of 15 seconds for a brand. You don't want to say you're gonna spend 10 hours on this project, because this is still worth like 3 to 5K.
Mhm.
So it's just like you should know your hours, but you should not pitch it directly to the client. You should show to the client what you do,
Right.
but not put hours necessarily around it.
So kind of the opposite of math, right? Like, don't show your work, something like that.
Yeah, because it's art. At the end of the day, people pay for you, so you need to know your value. And beside of that, if you're just starting, you need to know like that the camera you just paid 5K.
Mhm.
Yeah, you just work all summer on your shitty job to get this camera, and now you have it, but you don't include it in your price when you charge.
Right.
It's easy to think that now you have it, but if you're wise, you want to pay back.
Yeah.
So it also gives you confidence at a certain point, because I'm like, you're paying me for my skills and my gear, and I acquire those by myself, so you're gonna pay me for it. That's pretty much
And the
it.
skill, exactly what you're saying. That, I mean, let's say someone who's never done video photography, maybe they might record some video and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, now it's time to edit. They open up Premiere or
Ooh.
Final Cut or some program,
Yeah.
and it's like, whoa. So for some newbie that just starting, they might take them a few days to edit a few minute video, whereas for
Exactly.
you, someone who's advanced and seasoned, it might take you a few hours
Yeah.
to do it.
This is where you need to know as a client what your time is worth, because of course you can open YouTube and learn to do it yourself. I encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
That's all good. Everything's out there. Do it yourself if you have the time to do it. But I've seen people who wanted to do it themselves so bad, but they took weeks to do that. And I'm pretty sure in those weeks they could have done other things they're good at and be more like making more money or be more fix or something they're good at. You know what I mean? So it's just you need to know what your time is worth.
Exactly.
As a client.
As a client.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Also as a photographer, but if you want to do it yourself, it's all good. But to a certain point, if you want a full good production, color graded and stuff, it's gonna take you weeks, and you will not get something you had in mind.
Yeah, that reminds me of this story that I heard about. This company had this huge generator and this huge piece of machine, really expensive, and they couldn't fix it. They didn't know what was wrong with it. It wasn't working, so they were offering $10,000 to any mechanic who can come fix it. So all the mechanics in town, they came with their big bags and came with all their gear, and they tried and they worked at it, and no one could fix it. $10,000. They were like, oh man, they brought all their gear and stuff like that. And then finally this one guy comes with a small little like handy thing, and he walks around the machine, looks at it, sees one spot, goes to his little pouch, gets a hammer out and taps it, boop, 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 and it starts working. And he's like, all right, $10,000.
Expertise.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like this, and they're like, why should we pay you $10,000? All you did was just, take your hammer and tap it. And he's like, yeah, well, the hammer costs about $10, but the knowledge is what you're paying me for.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah, that's a super good story. That's perfect to illustrate the point, because like you can see on YouTube there's a lot of video with like newbies photographer with 10K cameras versus professional photographer with 500 cameras, $500 cameras, and you can see that it's not like it's two different world, because just me, when I started photography, I buy like a Sony A7S at the time, super good camera.
I love the camera, it's so good.
Yeah, but I didn't know how to use it.
Right.
Definitely not. I was like, I'd rather buy something I don't understand, but is really good, than something more simple. But like, I think that was a good decision at the end. But I misused this camera for like 2 years. Like I when I was starting, I was not working in a video production company. I was working in a marketing agency. It was like, and I was starting photography, but she was mainly a video camera, and I misused it. Like I had so many projects that went straight in the trash because I was just not good. I was just like, so yeah, the gears doesn't buy the skills at all.
I think that also too, you should realize that when you're coming to Tulum and you want to have good content and you want to show it off, you might come with your boyfriend and he might take some photos of you, or you might come with your friends, your girlfriends, and you might say, oh, I don't need a photographer, I'm coming with my friends. And it's like, are you gonna keep asking them for photos? Are you gonna feel that pressure from them, or do you want some good quality work? And then you might think, I'll have my friends do it, and then I'll go, and then you're gonna sit down and you're gonna go to your computer and you're gonna start editing and all the whole. What is your time worth? Exactly.
Yeah, you want to spend half of your time in Tulum behind your computer to get half the thing I could do in like 1 hour if you could pay me, right? So it's just
what's your time worth? I mean, you can be focusing on maybe your work or doing some other thing and focusing on your business. Maybe you're doing a digital business, and that's why you delegate. You pay people for good work, and you can work on and focus on your other stuff. You can't handle everything yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's
overload.
Yeah, it's overload, exactly. And that's what happened in creative spaces, because at the end of the day, our job is to make something that is there, tangible, right? Like put a vision, especially in video, and the art. One of the artist part and also the coolest part of the process with the client is the brainstorming, because there's a lot of client, like I'm gonna give you guys a little tips as a client if you deal with video businesses. If you come and you have exactly an idea of what you want, it's perfect, but gives creative space to people who will do the video. So you should do a brainstorm with them. They'll get your, because you're the client, you're the boss. So they usually, what we do with client, if they really want like exactly a video scene by scene, we'll take it. We'll do exactly like they want. But the best videos we did is when the client is just like, all right, I just want this value and this product or this thing to be represented, but for the rest, guys, I trust you. Those were the best production we had, because that's our job. That's what we do. We our brains are wires to do these, to create these things. So as a client or as a business or whatever, you want to give up creative space to the people, either do your photography or your videography. You're gonna get way more like quality production, because I had client, man, they had like their script like scene by scene, super well done, super like they have somebody inside of the business doing it. Was all good. But while we were shooting the video, me and my partner were like, it's gonna be that. Like, well, it's not gonna be shitty, but it's just gonna be, we could have done better, But it's okay. But if you want to get the best of a creative team, give them space. That will be my
I think
tips.
As a client, when you hire a photographer or team or agency, you're hiring them because you saw their work and you enjoy their work. So when you're coming in and saying, I'm going to hire you, I like your work, but I want you to do it like this structured way, there's no freedom for you to do anything.
Exactly. Creative freedom is where great production are born. Oh, that was deep. But definitely give the creative team some space to do your thing. You'll end up with better things. I'm sure of it.
And I think 100%. In terms of like also being on the other side, the photographer, when you're working with someone, how do you try to navigate a client who's super strict or who wants it done this way? Do you just say, okay, well, they're paying me, or do
on
you
a photo shoot?
Well,
like old photography or videography, everything
for
together?
video, for whatever. I mean, let's say you have someone, I want it done like this, and you're a photographer, and you're like, it's not gonna come out good, but hey, they're paying me, and it's what they want.
But like, it's also your job to tell them, because there's a lot of people that come here, they're sure 100% that the ideas like will be exactly what like they see it will be exactly on point. But in the process of doing business with you, it's also your job to tell them, all right, we could do it like this, but it's gonna look like that. And we thought that maybe we could add this and that and remove this and that. What do you think? It's all an exchange. It's a customer service at the end of the day. So it's kind of your job to tell them if they like, and if they want to stick to their ID, it's all good, but you did your part. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, people are usually open-minded. Like they say, I want this and that, I want this and that. And I'm just like, all right, we thought about this and this. What do you think? And usually people are like, yeah, that's super good idea. Sometimes they just, no, that's not what we want. I'm just like, okay, cool, perfect. But at the end of the day, like I said, if you just clear what you want, but you still give some space, that will be the best. Because in a video production, what we really try to do is to put up the values of the business. So we ask the client during the brainstorm, what are your business values? And sometimes they don't know. So we go with them through the process, like for you, and they will like, people will say like customer services, like quality customer service. I'm just like, yeah, no, that's not original. And sometimes it's a little bit of work and internal work, but this is, by doing this process, this is where IDs come out. And like, your job is to put the client in a mood where he'll get IDs with you. You want to like get him in the process. The more you can.
Because what I can see is that, if you don't tell the client as a photographer or videographer, and then you're like, oh, well, whatever they want, and you do this work, and then the client will probably end up not liking it.
You lose.
You lose. That's
definitely.
Maybe they don't want to pay you. Maybe they are upset. They're like, well, I don't like it, but this is what you wanted. But no, this is not what I wanted. This is not what I said. So should you write things down? What should you do?
But that for sure, you write things down. The brainstorm, like, there's three phases: the pre-production, production, post-production. In the pre-production is like often the one that's kind of skipped, because either the client know exactly what they want, or it's just like, there's a lot of people I know, and it's all good. Like, we all have our way to shoot. Like, my partner is more of a run and gun shooter, so it's just like, we'll get on the spot, we got these shot, and we'll get ID on the spot. I know another guy I work with in Montreal. You have to plan everything. He's doing a script. Like, he's more of a cinema background, film background. So it's like scene one, nah. Me, I'm more in the middle. I'm like, I love to have my shot list. So I write down the shot list to be sure I think about it. I'm like, I want this shot, I want this shot, I want this shot. But on the field, I'm just like, oh, I have an idea. Oh yeah, we could try that. Oh yeah, you know what? No. So it's like everybody have their way to shot. But yeah, always have something written before. It's super practical. And yeah, that would be that. It's super important to be clear with the client, because we talk also about modification wave, right?
Okay.
Like when you give the first version of the video, there's gonna be a back and forth between the client every time, and you want to like be sure that you're all on the same page with that, because if you don't make it clear that you offer only 2 or 3 or 4 modification waves, the client's gonna do like, oh, I don't like this. All right, perfect. You switch it up. Oh, and there's also this one. Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, and this
Okay.
scene, and this back and forth can end up in weeks and weeks, and you never end up your project. And I've seen a lot of time when let's say you're a 1-minute video, right? And the client already saw it like 4,000 times, because there has been so much back and forward, they don't see the video clearly anymore.
Mhm.
Like they
Yeah.
just like see thing like, oh, this second I'm not sure the beat is, and you get in a loophole like nightmare.
Right.
It's crazy stuff. Yeah, you want to be sure like, all right, you only have one modification wave wave of modification left, so be sure you got everything you want on this thing, because otherwise get back and forth and it can be a nightmare.
So I remember you talking about before we used to talk about you said that there's something called a hour bank, a power.
Oh yeah,
Hour banks?
our bank. Yeah,
How does that work?
that's a good way of charging client. We're talking about like, do you put your hours and stuff like that. Our bank is a safe thing to do. We love to sell them,
To sell
definitely.
them. So
Yeah.
what is an hour bank?
It's usually like, by definition, it's a bank. It's a bank an hour. So when you don't know, it's the first time working with the client, and there's a lot of time the client don't really, he knows or she knows that one of videos, but doesn't know like more than that. So they're just like, oh, right, we want this and this and this and this. And you're like, all right, so that's a 10K video. You want like drone shots of
underwater footage.
underwater footage, and you want a shot in a helicopter and blah 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 blah. And you can feel that you don't really know how much that could cost. You just sold them an hour bank, so they usually get a reduced rate.
Mhm.
So now you can pull out the hourly rate on the hour bank. It's more clear for the client. So let's say
Okay.
that on this type of project, we usually charge this amount. But taking in consideration that maybe we think we could get a little more than that or a little less, there's still like, we don't know about the drone, if the drone is still available. Or let's say you work with a business and there are like 5 in the committees, and there's 2 that want the drones, and there's 3 that don't want the drones, and now there's the 6th one is on vacation, so we don't know, like we'll need to wait, and all this type in these little thing in the process that slow the process and like rise the chance for you to lose the lead. If you sell an hour bank, you can patch that out. You patch data up. So like, all right guys, if you want the drone, you're not sure, we can still like keep going on the process of doing the videos. But if you don't want the drone, you'll just get more hour. You'll get a couple hours left in the bank when you finish the shoot. So give the opportunity to the client to have more flexibility. So it's a win-win for you. It securize your lead, so you close an hour bank for X amount. And for the client, he can enjoy a reduced hourly rate. And if you finish a project before what it's usually happen, let's say I'm selling a 20-hour banks, and we finish the project in 14. Now the client have 6 hours left with us. So what do we usually do, and client love that, is we take back footage that we already had in the video, or maybe we didn't use in this video but we still have the footage, and we make like Instagram versions or TikTok versions, or little short for the ad campaign or stuff like that. Or we can shoot again, if you want, like 6 hours, we can do like little interviews of the team and the process inside the business. Like they can be a thousand things. It's just that it relieves the stress of a super budgeted and tight processed project, versus just like, all right, we'll just put this in the bank, and if you want to chill with your 6 hours left and colors back in 5 months, you still have 6 hours. Like, we're gonna do whatever you want for 6 hours.
So yeah, so that's interesting. I like it. But as a photographer, how do you gauge a project? So you say 20 hours. You sell them 20
Uh, f-
hours.
that will be more for videos.
Oh, for video. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I know
for
I'm
videos.
always switching. It's kind of like hard to
So
follow.
so
Yeah.
for video, so you as a photographer, you say, hey, I'm gonna sell you 10-hour banks, right?
Yeah.
For a project. And first you gotta think of a cost for the 10 hours,
Yeah.
and then you have to say, and then on the client side, they're looking at, okay, 10 hours, and can you like break it down a little bit
Yeah.
easier, simpler?
But like that's what for photography I will
Not
not
do
read.
that. Okay.
You could, but because photography is pretty much plain and simple. You shot the what's happening, like and you render it after. But like in videography, you need to prepare. You need, if you have to set up the set. I mean, that could also happen in photography, but I mean, in photography you should just go, for my part I prefer just to offer one price, and
Okay.
that's it. And you get what I usually do is that you offer a price for X amount of picture of that the client choose, because remember I do like lifestyle fashion at this point, so the client choose the photo he likes. And if you want to take more photos after, he can
Okay.
just he can buy them at a reduced rate. So usually, let's say it's $15 a picture, and in the deal we made, you have 25 picture, but I took like 200 picture, and there's also like another 20 picture you want, but you can take them also. I'll work them out for you, but you, instead of paying, I don't know, $15 a picture, you'll pay $8 a picture.
Okay, cool.
So you can do things like that. I would think that will be the best way to sell type of hour bank. That will be the type of hour bank for photography. That's how I would do it.
But for video,
Yeah, video is just straight up hour bank, because it's hard. Sometimes there's some, like I said, there's some part of the process that are not clear yet, and usually what happen, if you want to stick with your price, you just wait for news, right? You're just like, all right, so we'll wait for you guys to come back from vacation and tell us
okay.
if
I
you
like
want a
that.
drone. But with the hour bank, we're just like, all right guys, we're gonna sell you an hour bank, you got a couple hour left or not, depending of what you choose, but we keep going in the process. So the
Okay.
real, like for me, one of the big incentive of the hour bank is to keep the process going while you're in the process of closing a deal.
And
You
it
don't
kind
wanna
of
lose
it
your
kind of
deal.
makes the client more focused on what they want, because they're realizing your value.
Yeah, they see the bank going down every
Yeah.
time they ask you for something.
Yeah, and there's also less ambiguousness, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's okay, well, I want this other thing on this project, but are you gonna charge me more for it? How much is it gonna be? And it's like, no, they have an idea in their head, so they can organize their projects
Exactly. Exactly that's well said. And they don't want to chop it up, because sometimes we could. I've seen businesses, the way they charge in video, they're just like, all right, pre-production, 10-hour, production, 24 hours, post production, 48 hours, right? So in post production, you got color grading, 10 hours. So the client is just like, can we remove the color grading? We don't need like that much color.
more. Okay.
So like,
So
you're
how
just
did-
like, all right, so I'm gonna do all this project, and I will do a shitty color grading at the end of the day, and you won't like it. You already know the client won't like it, but the client, when he see the line color grading 10 hours equal, I don't know, $2,000, and they're just like, we could chop that $2,000 off. We don't need that.
Oof.
You know what I mean? You don't want the
So what do you
client to
do?
start chopping. Our bank. Our bank, everything's in there. You don't know what the hours are, and it's like,
That's actually good.
and it all come with experience at the end of the day. Like it's so like depending on the project. That's why it's so hard in video to say this equal that and this equal that, because you don't know what you need to do. Let's say I'm giving you an example, like you have a scene of someone in a garage, right? Okay. The garage could be someone of the team that her father doesn't
Mhm.
mind passing the garage. All right, you don't have to pay for the garage. It's all good. Or maybe the business need to rent this type of garage because their product only fit with this type of garage. So you need to rent this and stuff, and so there's like, you need to manage that. You need to deal with that. There's like more money involved with that also.
Okay.
So it depends so much. So that's why sometimes our bank are just like peace of mind.
So our bank, when you're dividing the hours, are certain hours worth more than others? For example, maybe let's say the client wants a drone shot versus a regular video shot. How do you decide? You say, is it just the same? Is it the same amount of time?
Depend where you are regarding the drone. Like, let's say in Montreal, you need to deal with someone who has their license, and it's super expensive.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah, the business I work with before Tulum, it start at 2K if you want.
2K for a drone shot. What does that include? Like
a guy coming up for an hour or two with his drone, and he take whatever you want us to take.
So he records video in his drone,
and he give you the raw. Like, he doesn't do any other thing.
And he doesn't do any. $2,000 for 2 hours. So $1,000 an hour for a drone shot with no editing, just recording.
Yeah, in Canada, Montreal.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
What kind of drone does he use?
Inspire Pro. That's a good drone.
It's a good drone.
Yeah, that's a good drone. Yeah.
So wow, and that's no. I'm going to Canada. Why don't you buy a drone in Canada?
Yeah,
it's a long process to get a license.
It's funny because they had like the drone Fenzi a couple of years ago. I was kind of young though. It's time flies. It was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago already. And I buy the first DJI Phantom 1, the shitty drone. I say shitty because I had such a bad experience with this drone. I crashed it, of course, like 3 times.
We've all crashed our drones.
Yeah, it was the one with the GoPro under it. And it didn't have the live DJI application at the time. That was the GoPro application, and it was shitty.
Right.
So the only way you could see your drone where it was going was by watching it. And under the two wings there was red lights, and the 2 other ones were green. So the green were the noise, and the red were the tail. So you know,
right?
It was just super and I exploded, man. Like, it stopped working, and I tried it, and I paid people to repair it, and it was not working. I spent so much when I was like 6 years ago, man. I was like 18.
Right. Oh man, damn.
Bro, 18. I put like 3K in the Phantom one. I put 3K at the time. Like, for me, like 18 years old, $3,000 was a lot of money.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But the dedication is there. You can see that.
Yeah, I guess so. But like that drone, like he flied like 20 times. I never did any production with it. I never made any money with this drone. It's just drones have come a long way. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, did you see? Is the new Mavic Air 2 out? You saw that?
I saw that. Yes.
What's up with that? What do you think?
It's not. We talked about it with Kev 2 days ago, and
what do you think?
Well, I don't think it's that worth it. No.
It's not worth it.
No, the depth of field is better.
Okay.
Beside of that,
that's it. Yeah. The FPV though.
Yeah, that's the thing. We were supposed to have the FPV, and last minute we changed our mind because
what?
Yeah, we watched a couple of review, man, and
what's up?
First, he's not that quick compared to other FPV drones, and there's one axis gimbal.
Wait, what do you mean? So the gimbal doesn't?
Exact.
So you don't get that.
Exact.
Really?
And we have a friend who bought it, and he had super hardcore headache with the glasses.
So you're like moving like this?
Yeah. And we saw a couple of reviews on YouTube, like honest review, not reveal review.
Not the Sam Coder reviews.
Yeah, exactly. Same. But I mean, it's still a FPV drone. We would still enjoy it, like, but we want to play it's funny, the exact thing we don't want to do is the thing I did with the Phantom 1, which is by the first generation.
Facts.
Because the jump between the second generation and the first generation, whatever it is, it's always a lot compared like to the Mavic Air S2, was just like a little bit better depth of field, and a little bit better, did a little less weight. Like, compared to like the 5th or 6th version, the second version is always like a big step ahead.
I saw, I think Chama, he has the Mavic Air.
Yeah.
And I have the Mavic Air 2. It looks completely different.
Oh yeah,
it's so different.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. The is it not the Air, the Mavic Pro?
No, he has the Mavic Air. No,
I never saw his drone. No,
yeah, he has a Mavic Air, but I have the Mavic Air 2.
Okay.
And it's different. It's so different. The Mavic Air 2 is blows it out the water.
Yeah, exactly. The second version are always like so pumped up compared to the first one. So we were like, we're gonna wait.
I'm glad actually. I was thinking about getting the FPV, and I think I'll wait. Like the first iPhone or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. We'll wait. We'll wait to get the second version.
Yeah. So the power banks. So knowing how much to charge, so how much, so if you charge 10 hours or 12, like how does that work exactly?
Well, like I
'Cause I'm
said,
thinking,
if
if someone
you
is listening right now and they're just like, man, I like the idea of power banks, but
bank
how would
hour.
how would I approach a client and say, okay, like let's take a real life situation and say,
Okay.
go ahead.
The client is there. I want a video. I want this. I want that. I'm not sure if I want this. I'm not
Well,
sure.
let's give a real life. Let's say what kind of client? Let's say a lifestyle client. Let's say
Okay. For a video.
for a video.
Okay. Let's say a guy who sell hats, right?
Okay.
So he wants a video about his hats, and he knows he want like to show the production aspect of it. So he want us to go in the factory where they build the hats. They want to show the products. They want to show also like the project on models on the beach, or like
Tuluminiati hats.
Tuluminiati hats with the cap
Almost
and
the whole
everything. Yeah, on the taboo with a 10K tables. So like the more easiest way will be to offer an hour bank, because there's always gonna be they're always gonna be like questioning. I'm trying to invent au fur et à mesure, but let's say in the factory, right? In a factory, you don't know if he can, like, the security don't know if they can make us in with the equipment right now. Okay, so
Okay.
we're in the process of sending it the video, but he's just like, oh, and by the way, guys, for the factory, I don't know yet if I can do it. I have news in 3 weeks.
Okay.
3 weeks. What you want to do? You want to wait 3 weeks
Mm.
and maybe lose your lead?
No.
No. So what you do, I will be like, all right, what we can do, Gary, let's call him Gary. What we can do, Gary, is like, I can sell you an hour bank. So whether we can shot in a factory or not, the hour bank will cover it, right?
Okay.
But if we cannot shoot in a factory, so we will say we have half a day of shooting of a production day less than we were expected, you still have all the hours left, so we can do a short video of when they are on the beach for your Instagram and stuff like that for your campaign. So it's
Okay.
always a win-win.
Okay.
So the client, Gary, will be like, okay, cool,
Okay.
perfect, and you get a reduced rate.
So then, how much would you charge for a production for Gary?
For, let's say we want to shoot in 2 different locations, like in the same city, let's say, on the same area. Not like if your factory is in Vietnam, it's not gonna be the same for sure. But I would say we'll start around 3 to. It could go no drones or no drones.
What?
You want drones?
Drones? No, let's keep the drones out.
No drones. All right. I'll stay around 3 to 6.
So
depending,
3 to
yeah.
6K for how many hours?
I will say it will be around 25 hours, 25 to 30 hours. You want, yeah. The price is around, like, usually is around $100 to $150 an hour.
Okay,
overall.
so
And that's, like I said, that's the hour you calculate for you, take in consideration your equipment costs, and maybe we'll rent some equipment for Gary if you want to do, like, if you in the factory there's not a lot of light, so you need to rent the lights because of that. So before charging, you need to do in French it's a repérage, so it's just walking up and see before. So what we used to do, like in the business I was working with, we didn't charge the, how do you say this in English? Repérage. So it's just
the equipment.
no, you go in a place and you just look the place to see what's up.
It's like, I know, scenery. Scoping out the place.
Yeah, scoping. Let's call it scoping.
Let's call it scoping for
yeah,
now.
exactly. So, like I said, that there's a lot of taking off. So if we take back the example, you want to shot in a factory, or like, okay, by me and my team, like, we just go like an hour this week to see what's up, if the lights is good, what type of light is it, neon flashing lights, like, is it tungsten, do we need to have our own light equipment and stuff.
So this is all done before you give the price.
Yeah, as a evaluation. Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
so someone comes. So
you
Gary,
can get a rough estimate. But
Gary comes to you and says, "Hey, we'll let you give him a rough estimate about 3,000 to 6,000 for 25 to 30 hours, and you say okay, and then you say okay, well, give me all your specs, give me all your locations, and what kind of footage
Yeah,
you want.
usually I would do that first. So if you will come to me like this, I'll be like, cool. You want to shot at your factory, right? Yeah. Can you show me pictures of this factory? Or can we go right now or like this week? Take an
Okay.
appointment. I would just like to see before. So it's all depend of the scale of the projects.
That's part of the
Sometimes.
estimate, and you don't
Yeah,
charge for that.
because at the end of the day, I know it can seems like kind of like complicated doing business like that, but what you want to do is you want to give a good quality product.
Right.
So sometimes in video it can be a small thing that can fuck up the whole thing. Like if you show up and you just realize that you don't have a lot of light, and you're on the set, everything is there, and you don't have light, then all your shots gonna be noisy.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah,
you do?
I've had
It's
that
too
with
late.
one of my podcasts. You saw it. It
Yeah.
just goes dark.
Yeah,
and
you put it on auto and the ISO go down.
I thought that you could bring up the brightness like a photo, but I guess you can in video.
No, exactly.
It's like,
That's the
why?
thing.
Why is that?
Because video's image moving. It's 24 image every second.
So you can't do that to every single image.
But yeah, that's what's gonna bring noise. Yeah, if you're gonna burn your black or burn your white, depending.
So then let's say a different scenario. Let's say I'm in Tulum, and let's say this model comes and she wants content for her Instagram, and she says, "Oh, I want some video for my Instagram." Do you do our bank still, or
No,
okay?
no, it's not gonna be worth it.
Okay, so you do.
But actually, it depends on the volume. Like, do you want like my partner Kev today is working on TikToks for people in LA, right? They want 30 TikToks. Like, didn't sell them an hour bank because he's like his roommate, the guy. And they, like I said, when you already have process, it's all good. But our bank is mainly when you don't. There's type you want to close the deal. You want to make sure
It's like
you
a bigger budget thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like a stuff here. It's just
Yeah, it's also giving the feeling to the client that whatever happened, if you'll have hour left if the thing didn't work out,
Okay.
and we'll still make you content because we still have the images, we can still do things. So, or you can do. Sometimes we did another video, like if we sell that 40 hours bank and the client still have 10 hours, but like you want to do like a CEO interview video? Oh yeah, sure, cool. We did a whole interview at our studio. So like, it's always worth it. That for me, from my experience, it's a good thing. It's also in the process of closing deal. That's super.
Okay.
Close the loop.
What about one last thing? I think. What about collaborations?
Collaboration.
How do you feel about a model sliding into your DMs and like, oh, I love your work.
I would love to collab
I
with you.
love to collab with you.
To be honest, like I like it because
Oh, you like the
But like,
attention.
not on this way, but like it's more that, like I said, in Montreal I used to do collab all the time because if I wanted to get better at what I wanted to be, I needed to do collabs. It's just that now I have the luxury of choosing them.
Okay.
That's the only thing that changed. And to be honest, like we're laughing with models and stuff, but like real models, they're super good. It's really changing the game while you're shooting because they know their pose, they know what to do, they know like that's still a job, that's still like a certain things to do. I know it can be super easy. Oh, this is just pretty girls. You only like there's I heard that I think it was my sister was like, yeah, it's super easy when you shot with pretty girls, they are pretty. So yeah, I get it, but it's more complicated than that. It's about posing, it's about like composing the image and everything. So yeah, I'm still down. I still do collabs for stuff like that, for creative photography, that if I wait for a client to ask me that this type of photo, like I could wait a super long time and I still want to do it. Like I'm in Tulum, everything's beautiful, I want to shoot, I love to shoot, that's my passion. So it's just that now I can choose them.
So
Before
yes.
I was chasing them, now it's invert. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So you got your inbox full of models trying to work with you.
work
And then you can
work
choose.
with you. I want to work with you. Yeah,
You can choose too. Sometimes if you want to charge someone, you can charge someone. If sometimes you like their work and they just want to do a collab, then it's and you like their stuff and they really can't pay. And
yeah, definitely. And usually, like the thing when it gets kind of itchy is when you got a model inboxing you, just like, yeah, I want to collab with you, but when you show up on the set, well, on the set, this is not a set, it's usually straight up on the beach. Like she have all these products, And now you're like, wait a minute, you get paid for all these things.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't. Often they just
Get
don't.
it for free.
They just do it for the cloud, for IG, for
You do it
fun.
for clout.
For cloud, yeah. We do a
Okay.
lot of things for cloud. We all work for cloud. We're all kind
Okay.
of cloud bitches in this industry. Sorry
Clout
for my bad
nine.
language, but it's the word. Yeah, but so this is where sometimes get like like it happened to me like once or twice. I was just like, it got sorry, but like if you get paid to shoot with products with my picture, I won't do it. Sorry, like
Yeah,
won't
or you can
work.
pay me now, or
Yeah, exactly. Like we can do a collab. That's all like perceive like the perception, the perspective of it is just some. It just need to be clear. Like, and it can work both ways. There's also photographer, and sometimes can be just an exchange of service for publicity. Like there's a lot of people that just want to shine on Instagram, and that's it. And
Yeah.
that's all okay. Like I did for a photo shoot for product company with like models, and I was paid, and they were not paid. But what they got is the content. They got all the pictures, which has a value. So, but in the inverse, like that's why I can give to the influencer, let's say. But what the influencer can give me, it's promotion on Instagram, pretty much.
Question,
which is still have a value, but it's not the same.
As a content creator, when you're working with maybe some lifestyle people and a model, or not even a model, or just anyone that you're creating a content for, how do you handle them? Are you more hands-on? Are you more, do you tell them how to pose, or do you kind of get the shot? What's your style?
I'm kind of a 50-50. Like sometimes, yeah, I shot more with people who are not models, like
right.
because sometimes I just spot faces. I'm just like oh, I like this guy have a certain style. I want to shoot with him. Or like this girl have freckles. I want to shot with this freckles. Sometimes it's just like things like that. So when I shot with people that are not used to it, like I'm an extrovert. Like I just talk with them. I just joke with them. Like give an example. I shot with a client, Phil. You actually met him. And on our first shooting, I can sense like that he's kind of, people are not used to it, right? So
right. Yeah, he's just a normal guy. He's tense.
Yeah,
he's like,
tense.
I'm not a model. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't realize it.
Yeah,
as
so
a model.
you have to like to play with that, and you
Okay.
have like to de-dramatize the situation.
So what do you do? What are some tips?
Just make people laugh, man.
Yeah, tell me a joke.
Like I told Phil, I was shooting. I was like, bro, did someone ever told you you had the same face as Seth Rogen? And he just started laughing, and while he's laughing, I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, definitely. And I know that picture. I have it in my phone, and he took it in his selection. He's like, yo, because that's a real laugh.
Right.
And sometimes I just say crazy, stupid shit just to make people laugh. Like that doesn't make sense.
You know what would make sense too? That probably the best photographers would be like comedians or like funny people or just silly people, because they make someone feel comfortable. They start making them laugh. So if you're a comedian, you maybe start thinking about being a photographer.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in this time where there's no place when you can make money as a comedian. Yeah, definitely. It's super important to make people feel, because it's going to show up in your work. It's kind of dangerous in a way, because people pay you to take good picture of them, but they are in the picture, is not you. So your job is to make them feel comfortable, so your pictures are good.
Exactly. I think a lot of photographers don't realize that they may start lifestyle photography, and they might just be like, oh, I have a nice eye, you should stand here, and then I'll take a photo of you. And then they're just taking photos, and they're looking at it, and they're going through them, and then they're adjusting their settings, and then they're looking at the photos. Meanwhile, the model is like, okay. But you don't realize it from the model's perspective, that they're standing there. They don't know what they look like. They don't know what to do. They're nervous. And especially if they're not a model or influencer, they're just a regular person hiring you. And then you're here, you're going through your setting. Oh, it's too much light. Let me lower down the shutter speed or pick up the shutter speed. Yeah. So it's like 30 seconds, a minute is passing, and then, okay, next shot. And then the model's like, oh, okay, like, what should I do? Yeah. It's awkward.
Yeah, it depends on your style of photography. Like there's undershooter and overshooter. That's how I see it. I'm an overshooter. So I'm going to end up with like 400 pictures in like 3 hours. Right. Because I want to get the perfect moment. I'm just don't hesitate. And there's undershooters who are just more like, all right, I'll get the perfect picture and then click. And then I'm going to watch it. I'm going to make sure and everything. And it's all good, but I don't shot that like this. And actually I didn't thought about that, but you're right. Like when you check on your settings and you take time, the client is just they're chilling.
They're there.
Me, I'm always shooting and walking and like. But the thing that there's a downside, and that is after that in post production, I have to deal with 400 pictures, and the
Yeah.
undershooter will probably like 45, 65 of them. So like it's gonna take more time for me to select to get a picture, but I don't really mind, because when I see, like, I can see sometime on the gram just picture of people that are overposed. Like say there's photographer like put your hands like this, turn like that, put your, and they're literally like touching the model and just like sometimes I do it like say to place the person or something like that, but you can sense when something is just too much stages. And these are the kind of picture that when you look at them too much, you can like you feel that something is wrong. And when it's pictures about you, you will look at them a lot. We all does that. We all have picture before we post of us, and we like quadruple check them just because it's us, right? So for me it's kind of, I don't know, I just love like overshoot more and more, like in the even if I have like 200 picture that are flu because the model was
Right.
yeah.
I
it's
think
more,
also too, because your style, you're really comfortable with editing. Like I've seen you here,
yeah
in the co-working space, and you're okay with going through all the photos, and you're super quick with it. So if you're a photographer and you're good with the back end, the editing side, and you're super quick with Lightroom and Photoshop, and
Yeah.
you know what to do right away, then yeah, I mean you can take 500 photos, right?
Yeah.
But if you're someone who maybe is not too comfortable, or and you're not good with editing and looking through all the photos, you may want to take less photos. For me, I think it's somewhere a little bit in the middle, but less. I'm trying to get more into
get the perfect composition.
yeah,
and-
just
yeah
focus on just getting the shot instead of taking out too many photos. Because then I'm one where I'm just like that time, that the editing time and looking through all the photos
Yeah.
and seeing. Yeah, but then it also sucks on the other side where you do take a really really nice photo, but the person's face was just a little bit off, and they kind of had their tongue out, or they had something on their eye, and it's like
Yeah.
then you gotta go to
Yeah.
Photoshop, and you like the photo so much that you start kind of
Yeah.
editing, and
That's still something I'm having a hard time with. Is sometimes like on my 400 pictures, I pick like 50 pictures, right? And the deal with the client was 15 pictures. Well, I always offer more to open the opportunity for the client to take more pictures, right? But sometime in my pre-selection, when I showed them the pictures, like there's two pictures, let's say, and they're barely the same, but they're both good. But the thing is that the client sometimes, for whatever reason you'll never understand, doesn't like his face on this one.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
so what I was doing when I was starting, it's super simple. I'm just stupid for doing this. And if anyone do that right now, switch your process because you're wasting time. When you're sending your pre-selection to the client for the client to choose this picture, don't edit them before, edit them after. Because what I was doing, I was like editing all the picture and then sending the picture to the client, and the client was selecting them. Because there's like
agreed.
we all have angles we don't like with
Agreed.
ourselves. Like
Agreed.
there's some people just like I don't like this profile. But when I'm gonna see the picture, I'm just like this picture is insane.
The composition and the
Yeah,
lighting is amazing.
everything is perfect. But the person was just like, yeah, but I don't like my noise like that. And
Yeah.
what you gonna say? You just can't say nothing. You're just like, oh, all right, I worked like 2 hours on these pictures for nothing, because that was actually my favorite.
I hate that.
So
Send them have them pick the photos, the raw photos they like.
exactly.
And
But
then-
you want to add a couple of edit, and then because I learned that for me at first when I wanted to switch this process, I was like, all right, I'm gonna send them all the raws. Raws mean that there are no edits on it. But for a lot of people without edits, they could see a picture and be like, whatever, and then you put the edits on it and they're like, oh my god. So what I do right now, I do a mix. Like
Okay.
I have my golden shot, I call them. So it's the shot, when you took it, you look at it, you're like, all right, this one's gonna be in the pack. That's a crazy picture.
Right.
So what I do is when I send a pre-selection to the client, there's like a couple of them, my favorite shots actually, that are already a little bit edited. So what I can do with that is like, for what I say to the client is that you will see a couple of pictures that are half edited, so you can see in which way I'm going with the editing. So like if you like the colors and you like this stuff, Because I don't only have one style. That's also another thing with photographers. When you go on their Instagram, for like the beauty of the grid, they all like it's all the same edits, right?
Yeah.
And it's all good, but because this is where you can find a photographer brand, right?
Presets.
Yeah, exactly. Or preset, exactly. Oh, I love this photographer filter. By the way, that's an insult, but like, like you know what I mean. Like you can see the whole brand, but for me, it's kind of double-edged sword because you can get trapped in this process. So let's say you're always doing the same edits. Fine, they'll be seen as like, oh, this is his kind of edit. I like the way he is doing this thing, but you always do the same. So you can just pre-do a preset, and basically a preset you just like create your own filter and you just copy paste it every time. So you lose the whole like starting from scratch aspect of photography, which is where the fun is for me. So you have to find a balance between offer like people when they want to do business with me, they know my style, they see the other picture, I still have a style, but I still can go in so many different way depending on the client. Sometimes with clients, I basically base my edit on their Instagram because they want the pictures to fit with the grid, and I understand it. Like I know what the grid addiction is. I know like you want the grid to be perfect and fit.
Yeah.
I know what it is. So sometimes I make my edit depending on the colors on the grid.
That's good as a photographer.
Yeah,
that's going deeper.
Yeah, that's going deeper as customer service. And it also, you can all do that, like you do quick edits in the pre-render, so the client can see, can tell me, hey, I don't really like this type of edit. It rarely happen, actually it happened like once or twice, but still it can show that
Right. I like that.
you can go
Yeah, I remember
places.
I did a shoot, and then I took all the photos, and then they wanted me to do the edits, and I did all the edits, and they didn't like the way I edited.
Yeah.
And I put so much work into it.
Yeah.
And they were like, "It's okay, we'll take the raw." And I was like,
Do you sell the raw?
Yeah.
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 I don't give the raws.
You don't give the raws?
No.
Okay. Why not?
I could like people like if you want me to give you raw, I'm just gonna sell you at a price you will not want it to pay.
Really?
Like yeah, because there's a lot of photographer that does that, because what happened when you sell your raw is that they will edit themselves, sorry, and after that it's kind of like either they will tag you, or like that's still gonna be represented as your work.
Your work.
Yeah, that's the thing. And for me, like selling the raws is just that I can like I'm always open to selling the raws, but I'm gonna sell it. I never give the raw.
Yeah, because you mean I like that. I've seen people also mess up some of my stuff that I've given. I'm like, why did you put that filter on?
That's
it's
a photographer
horrible.
thing that happened in every photographer life. Yeah, like I had a girl I shot with. I won't say client because she wasn't a client. It was just collaboration for fun, and she took back my edit and she added like crazy weird eyelashes and over like skin softening, but like way too much.
Facetune.
Yeah,
Max.
Facetune. The eyes were like big. Exactly, that was Facetune for sure. And still she tagged me, and I wrote to her, I was like, don't
me.
Yeah, untag me. Please, s'il vous plaît. Because like
So wait, question then, when you're sending your client the photo, the raw or the edited thing, have they paid you already? Where does the payments come in?
So I work with Pixieset. I love Pixieset. Pixieset. So yeah, that's a website / application that you can send a gallery of the picture of the raw pictures to your client, but they can't download it. They can only do their own selection.
They can screenshot it or something.
Yeah, if they really want. But you can put watermarks if you want.
Would you put water? Yeah, I wouldn't.
I don't
put watermarks.
No. For me, watermarks is like
I don't trust
like old school photographers. Like yeah.
Also, it's like I don't trust you. Like you're
not good.
No, but yeah. So you have, was it Pixie what?
Pixieset.
Pixieset. Okay.
Yeah. And
so you send them. They can download it. They can see it.
They can select. They can do the selection, and then I see the selection. I go back to my program. I do the selection, taking like their own selection, and then I did them fully, and then I send them. And I send in another collection. You build collection on Pixieset, and you share with the client, and the client can download it from the website.
And when does the money exchange happen?
It's usually when I send it. Yeah.
Do you get like a down payment like before or anything? What did you recommend?
On video, yes,
Video,
but
okay.
on photo shoot, not really.
Okay.
Never happened. I had never had any problems.
I know some people who do
Knock on
ask
wood.
for, especially like for lifestyle
Mhm.
photos, they ask for a down payment because a lot of people will take advantage of your time, and maybe they might make an appointment and they may cancel, they might be late, or and
Yeah,
you
for
also need to
cancellation.
factor that in, because let's say you have a meeting and you're like, hey, we're gonna meet at 3 o'clock, so
Yeah.
you arrange your whole schedule for 3 o'clock, and then 2 minutes before they're like, hey, can we do 4 or 5, and you're already there, you're already set
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah,
It's
in
like
video, definitely it's a reality. But for me, in photography, never happened. It happened a lot in collaboration.
collaborate.
Oh man, bro.
But yeah,
I've been waiting on metro stations in Montreal a lot of times.
but that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. That the people who want the budget, the free stuff, the cheap stuff,
Yeah.
they're gonna take your time. They're gonna take 80%
Exactly.
of your
That's
time,
80
right?
20. Exactly. Definitely. That's the reality of it, because it's all about perceived value. Like, they got you for free, so it's gonna feel
Perceived
free
value,
to not to choke you, to not
Yeah.
go.
They're
to
gonna
not
think,
go.
oh, he doesn't. It doesn't matter. It's free.
Yeah,
his
it's
time is
free.
not worth anything.
Exactly.
go.
Exactly. That's why perceived value is super important. Otherwise, you'll get like overused. Yeah, that's a reality. Especially like I've been like ditched so many times, and at a certain point, I remember I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, because I was not living in Montreal. I was living on a South Shore, so it was like 45 minutes every time going to Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, like, I think a model just like, oh, sorry, I don't feel good today. Nah, 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 nah.
I have a pimple on my forehead, and I don't know if I can do the shoot anymore. Like
yeah,
a
exactly.
minute before
That type of thing. And I was just like, you know what? I just show up in front of there's a school in Montreal. Is it? I don't remember the name.
Okay, yeah,
It's a fashion school. So I just chill in front of it, and I was waiting for the course. It was like around 4:30. And when people went out, I just asked them straight, people like, hey, do you want to shoot? Nah, it's all fashion people. So they like, everybody was saying yes. And after that, I started going in Montreal and just asked people like on the spot, like, hey, sorry, I just saw you. I really love your style, by the way. Would you mind just take a couple of pictures? And
of course, you're
it was so more like
easier and better.
And better, and the vibe. And I met a lot of people like this.
Yeah.
Like,
and they appreciate your time and they value, like, thank you so much.
Yeah, there's a spontaneous aspect of it. Just like, hey, I really love your style. I'm a photographer. I would like to shoot. And the thing also is that when you took like 2 hours of my time, because I need to go Montreal back and forth to my home afterwards, and I shoot with only one person, that's why I usually do like 3 outfit, 3 location, because we can shoot a whole day. I'm gonna have, and it's a collaboration. I'm not getting paid for this, right? So I don't want. I'm gonna post like 2 or 3 of these pictures in the next 6 months. I don't care having like 40 pictures of you, because my grid's not gonna be all about your face. Not gonna match.
Right.
You know what I want.
Yeah.
But if you just cold approach people, and you took like 2 or 3 pictures every time, you get way more volume in one day than if you organize 1% that's probably gonna ditch you on the same day. So like, yeah, that's it. That's one of these days I was just like, all right, that's the last day I'm getting
That's
ditched.
a great realization. Yeah, I went to
Yeah.
school at a fashion school in New York, FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology, and a lot of people may look at the school and like it's superficial and all these things, fashion school, but actually the people there, they're super open and collaborative, and everyone is complimenting each other.
Yeah,
and
it's like in the music
it's a
industry.
space.
It's like all everything art related. There's a common sense of helping each other.
Yeah, yeah.
At a certain point, especially when you're in the school period, like you want, like, fashion people need photographers. Photographers need fashion people.
Right.
Like videographer need music people.
Yeah,
Music
yeah.
people need videographers.
And
like,
people
it's-
value your time a lot more because they
yeah,
know
they
art.
know the drill.
They know how art. I've taken art classes. I think art classes are not the hardest. I would say not that it's not hard or easy, but the most time consuming.
Yeah.
I can take a three credit art class, and the projects would just take me hours and days to work on, just simple projects.
Because you're emotional related to them usually.
Yeah, but
it's the
very
same
much longer.
thing.
So people realize that, hey, art does take a long time, and when you're working with other artists, whether it's a music artist or a fashion person or whatever,
Yeah.
they value your time more as opposed to someone else.
Yeah, it's usually the vibe is super good also. Like, and I met a lot of people cold approaching. It's kind of when you think about it, like we live in a society where it's kind of weird to just, especially in big city, just go like, hey, I really like your style. Be like, hey, what the fuck, you know? But if you're like, hey, I really like your style. I'm shooting right now. I have a little bit of time. Do you think we could took a couple of pictures together? You get some pictures and everybody will be happy. Yes, for sure. And then
For
you meet
sure.
people and like you end up like, I met like so many people like in Montreal just because of that. And like people that brought me real business afterward because the relationship is already built. Like the cold approach of the relationship, it's like in Tulum, right? You're walking on the beach in Tulum and you're doing your classic PR thing, that the same thing you would do in Montreal, except that in Tulum there's way more chance that like the guy you just talk with, be spontaneous and joke with and become friends with, like he's for whatever reason he own a yacht and he's a millionaire and can bring you a lot of opportunities. So like it's all about like showing up, and especially in Tulum, to make the parallel, is just that there's a lot of like I sound kind of a gold digger, but there's a lot of business opportunities in Tulum because there's a lot of
Yeah.
people with money straight up.
Yes,
And
it's a networking place. It's people who are, like
definitely,
we said before, there's not really family people who are here trying to get, resorts and all inclusive. There's
yeah,
people here
not a
with
lot of 9 to 5 people.
yeah, with digital nomads, digital creators, or even office people, or what are those angel investors and people with with their life already, their career already set up. So
Yeah.
they're coming here, and maybe they're not coming here to network, but they can definitely have fun and do the same thing.
Oh yeah, that's one of the beauty in Tulum. That's why I really love Tulum, is because you can develop opportunities that you would never have developed in any other part of the world, especially now. So yeah,
Yeah.
and it's because of the COVID situation, like I said, act like as a filter. So like, even if you have a beer with someone who's just like twice your age and doesn't have any like um, like reason to have a relationship with you, whatever, to know you, but just because of the COVID, it's like, hey, where you from? Montreal. Hey, where you from?
Mm,
I'm from Switzerland. What do you do? I'm escaping COVID. You same, ha ha ha, he he he. Hey, what do you do? Blah, blah. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like the vibe is perfect for PR right now.
I love it. And who do you think? What's the best option if people want a photographer? Who's the best option?
YouTube.
Who would be the best option specifically? What person?
To what? Sorry, I
The
didn't.
best option
For what?
for like a videographer. If someone wants to hire someone, who's the best?
It's me.
Best option.
This guy is so
So
funny.
corny. All right, so you want to tell people where they can find you and
Yeah, this is gonna be corny. Also, you can find me on Instagram at CYRGUYLL Sergio. It's gonna be hard for English people to find me up, but I guess you put the link in the description, will you?
probably not.
Fuck. So yeah, we're starting a business called Lief Media. We offer content creation, so photography and videography, access on travel content. So if you're a brand, let's say you sell boots or sunglasses or any services that fit the travel vibe, we can help you create content abroad for your brand. So our next stop is Bali. So we're going to Bali for a couple months to create content for brands. So if you want us to bring some of your product with us and shoot for you, we'll do that. Contact me.
Do you need any podcasters in your Bali trip? Because I want to go to Bali.
I think we're gonna do something there. I don't know. We're looking for some mics and some stuff. We don't know how much time we'll stay there, but yeah, we'll hit you up, Kai.
Yeah,
You'll
no,
come,
Bali is
join us.
amazing. So what's this company that you're talking about? So
It's
how does it
called
work?
it's called Lief Media,
Okay.
and like I say, it's pretty much a video company. We also do photography, but it's let's just say it's a content creation agency. And the way we work is that we offer for brands content that fit with travels. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And we also offer influencer marketing campaign. So what do we do is that we move from spots around the world, and before we switch spot, we do deals with brands to make sure we create content for those brands.
Oh.
So if brands want content with like influencer, we have an influencers catalog that you can choose which influencers you want to work with that best fits your values for your brands and stuff. And we take care of the rest, and we make sure to create contents. So you get the promotion on these influencers platform, plus you get our production high quality.
I
for
love
your
that.
business.
That's such a great idea.
Yeah. We're pretty sure he's doing well for now. We're going back to LA to get some brands deal in Montreal also, and after we're flying to Bali to the first step.
When are you going to Bali?
It's usually probably it's gonna be August.
August. Oh, for my birthday. Maybe I'll join you guys.
Check for the visa, man.
Yeah, the visa's open, no?
Yep, visa is open. It's not that. We thought it was like 600. It's like 200.
200 for
Yeah.
how long? A 1 month?
I think it's a 3-month thing.
3-month visa.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I remember when I was in Bali, the visa was you can get a free visa for a month, then you have to leave and come back, or you can extend another month.
Oh, for real?
So you had 2 months, but the
Nice.
process to extend was like,
I'm still a newbie in this whole travel life thing.
oh,
So
you haven't really.
no.
How many hostels have you stayed at?
hostels? This is how you put the threshold of
Yeah.
All right. Hostels 1, bro. This is my monkey. I've been in Airbnb living with old ladies. If it counts at once.
Me?
Yeah, I took an Airbnb on the West Coast when I thought I was just here for a month. So yeah, I just did
Dude,
one hostel.
Oh my lord!
But
you
I went out at the straw hat for like 20 times. So
No. But when you travel, staying in hostels and doing the backpacker lifestyle is literally what I
Yeah.
live for. Is the best.
Yeah, I know, but I got a 27-inch Mac with me, bro.
Oh, that's so true. What's with this 27? Can you so this guy, he has the big MacBooks. What is it? The
iMac.
iMacs, and he carries this around with him traveling, set up in the co-working space here, and everyone just comes and just like, what is going on?
Yeah, I know that was a power move. Like, I call this a power move. When I left Montreal because my laptop is not that powerful. It's not a Mac. It's just a regular laptop.
Okay.
And actually, maybe it could do something. It's just me that's just like I'm used to work with my Mac.
Big screen. Is it really because you get better quality? You want a big screen?
Yeah, but it's because that's the only computer I have who have big, like we can end up high quality things. And also keep in mind, I didn't knew like that I was quitting my job and my rent, and I was starting this business at the time. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna move in for a month in Mexico. I'm gonna have a little nice Airbnb with my computer, and I'm gonna just work there. That was my plan. But yeah, after that, I needed to travel with it, so. Yeah, maybe I need to go back in Montreal for my visa thing. So maybe I'm starting to think to switch it for a smaller one.
Just sell it. Get the new MacBook Pro. Those are sick. The M1 chips.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They're fast.
Yeah, they can
so
render
fast.
DaVinci Resolve like
second per second, minute per minute.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff.
Yeah, so
yeah, I need to check that. But I love my Mac. I love to work on that big thing.
if you're gonna be traveling, you need a MacBook.
Yeah.
The iMac just isn't. It's a power move, but
yeah, I know.
let it go.
I'm gonna switch that. I'll see.
Switch it up. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think a lot of the programs though, they're still catching up to the new chip. So
oh yeah, there's still
I don't know, not a lot, but I think there's some programs that may not work with the chip because it's a new chip.
How much is it? It's like 2K
For what?
The new MacBook with the chip is Air 2?
No, it's honestly
Air Plus. I'm not good.
So my
with
friend
names.
has the MacBook Air with the M1 chip,
Okay.
and it's the same chip as the MacBook Pro. So his MacBook Air, even though it's like $1,000, and for education discount you get like $100 off, but it's the same chip. So he has a Blackmagic camera, and he rendered the video. He made a video of me, like a 4-minute video, and it rendered like the same time, like a 4K video on a MacBook Air, which I used to hate the MacBook Air because they suck, but it has the M1 chip, the same chip in it. It's like the iPhone 12.
Does it get super heat?
No, it actually has no fan. It's fanless.
It's fanless?
And yeah, it's the same speed. There's no fan on it, and it doesn't get hot or anything. It's just you should check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check this.
Check it out, but
for
it's similar to the iPhone 12 Pro, right? You can get the iPhone 12 Pro, or you can get the iPhone 12 Mini, but they have the same chip in it. So it's basically the same processor.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with like the MacBook Pro or MacBook Air, which is insane. I mean, it's obviously much smaller. You don't want a small thing. Maybe you want the MacBook 13, or I don't know if the 16 has it. I don't think the 16 has the M1 chip.
I have no idea.
But anyways,
also the RAM and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the RAM and all that stuff, but the processor is insane. I mean, it's super fast.
Yeah, it's because waiting about the rendering is. Oof.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just Kevin also too. His rendering is slow.
Yeah, he's kind of a slow render. He used to it and so patient, bro. This guy's so patient. Like, he
Yeah.
work on this pad. He's doing editing on this pad. I
Dude.
borrow my mouse from time to time, but like
Mm.
doing editing on a pad for me, I would not be able to do that for more than 20 minutes. I'm like always moving on the sequence and like it's too small. I mean, I love my big setup, but yeah, it come at the price.
As a traveler, I mean, yeah, if you're gonna be in Bali too, I mean, you're gonna maybe be bouncing around
Well, you should
places,
see the place we have in Bali.
or you're gonna stay at a place for a while.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
who are you staying with?
I'm staying with my two partners, so Kevin and Connor,
Okay.
and we still have 5 beds.
What part of Bali?
Chengdu.
Canggu. Ooh, I love Canggu. Good surf, good vibes, good food.
Yeah.
Canggu is
But
my
the
favorite.
thing is that it's empty
It's empty now. Yes.
because people told me. I have a friend told me that it's Australian go there. It's an Australian party
Mhm.
place, but Australia is super
Locked down.
super locked down right now.
So,
So, but like we said, like we don't really mind. We're here for the content, so we got a empty forests and empty beaches for our shoots.
yeah, and the
Peace of
scooters are
mind.
super cheap there.
Everything is super cheap.
Everything is so cheap.
Yeah.
The food is amazing.
I never went there, bro. That's why I'm so happy. Like,
And the people there. Actually, Canggu is actually really good because even the local people, they're super like Canggu has the local vibe has like a skater vibe and a surfer vibe. So the local people there are you can
it's
it's gonna be fun. You're gonna make
it's like Sayulita, like chill, bro.
you can make really good content with local Balinese people there, and they're so nice, amazing. I love
Nice.
them. And
I
get
can't
some
wait.
nasi goreng. You know nasi goreng? It's like a
Nah.
food.
Oh yeah,
You get it's like rice,
how's
noodles,
the food
eggs.
there?
It's so good.
It's
And so
good?
cheap. It's so good.
Yeah,
Get some Big Tang beer, and Bali's amazing. Honestly, the people there are amazing. I love it.
man, it's crazy how life took a turn. Yeah, after that trip, it's crazy. I would never knew that I was quitting my. I love my job. I love my rent. I still quit it all, and now I'm like, I'm going to Bali. Like, yeah, it's
I
crazy.
love
I'm a happy dude.
mean,
It's a little
Tulum
bit
was-
late, but still.
Nah, it's wherever you're at, that's where you're supposed to be. We got it. But all right, man. Thanks for coming on the podcast
Thanks,
and
buddy,
being in
for
this
having me.
jungle with me and
He's good at this thing.
getting bitten by mosquitoes.
You're getting good at this thing, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting the setup, and I'm really excited to get more content and see where it goes. I'm thinking actually about making some music too. So maybe when I go to Bali, we can make some music videos. That'd be dope.
See you there.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you also for listening and being a part of this. This is the Sonder At Last podcast. And yeah, you can find us on Apple Music, on Spotify, on all the podcast platforms. Subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever you're at. If you're on Instagram and this is some kind of reel I've made into or something like that with my bank hours. But yeah, wherever. So thank you for being a part of the Sonder At Last community. And yeah, we are out. Peace.